Welcome back, everybody, here to the CSGO Championship Series as we're going into the grand final of the Red Group to see who will be the first team to qualify for the LAN
I just want to
finals.
quickly say I've got a number of tweets in the last 30 seconds saying the stream's still black, but audio's fine. Just refresh. It should be right back up. Twitch is absolutely fine.
If you can hear us, walk towards the refresh button.
Follow our voice? That doesn't really work.
Find the F5 button.
There you go.
Or if you want to be the CS sticks, find your F8 button.
There you go. So now we've got it. So we've got our grand final laid out in front of us. It's going to be EnVyUs versus NiP. Winner of this directly invited to DreamHack Bucharest. Loser has to do it the hard way, just like everybody else we've already seen. Penta and Virtus Pro from the last chance qualifier. Karn, what do you think?
It's going to be interesting to see them. Like in the past two majors, they met each other once in the grand final. This is at DreamHack Winter, where former EnVyUs, I would say LDLC, came out on top. At the semifinals here at ESL 1 in Katowice, it was quite surprising the manner NiP managed to overcome the French by beating them in 2 maps straight, Dust 2 and Cash. Just some quick map predictions. I would be very surprised if we end up on Nuke, Cobblestone, or Overpass, especially not Overpass, because I think NiP was sitting there quite comfortable watching who we're going to play next in the grand final. All right, Overpass seems pretty strong for EnVyUs. Let's avoid that. But yeah, generally speaking, this will be a match where I think the team that's managed to keep up their stamina up and just staying focused, because it's getting quite late. The players have played so many games over the past days and week.
Even tonight, EnVyUs had to go through that,
they had struggled
huge
a bit.
ordeal.
Yeah, they had a longer journey here to the grand final.
We've casted 3 an overtime of a 4th. They've played that many. They've played 3 best of 3s tonight. This will be their 3rd.
Sure. So that's something we have to take in consideration as well. I think NiP, though, threw in another online game when they were waiting Face It, I believe.
So no surprise at all. NiP gets first ban. It was Overpass gone. That was easy to predict. And they went ahead and took out Nuke for EnVyUs, so you were dead on there, Karn.
Right, so Mirage is going to be interesting. We saw EnVyUs again playing with a lot of confidence. ST at Mirage, that's going to be a trouble when you're playing Alu, because he's dominating middle. He's not concerned about taking a shot or 2 from the connector, from the house, or sometimes even go catwalk. And as well, Forest can pick up AWP in B. Whereas I've seen like somewhat of a weakness in EnVyUs CT play, that would be NBK in the way he's currently at least protecting B. He tries to jump all the time, and I think kind of the move he's doing is put him at a very difficult spot, because he got sniped a few times by Chris J, for example. Kind of happily invited the Penta guys into that bomb spot and planted the bomb. But yeah, Mirage should be a fairly open map, though. I can't really point out one favorite in this map.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same, man. I look at NiP, and they've also been very solid in this one. Obviously, they were never really fully tested, I don't think, tonight. Like, with the pickups, as you was mentioning before, Alu is very stable in the mid. So I'm not really feeling NiP is going to have any problems with this. I think it's definitely going to be massively CT-sided from both these teams. Actually, finding the breach on the Ts is going to be probably the hardest thing for this map.
And much like you said that NiP switched up their Inferno with Get Right now toward A, Forest back over toward Banana with Freiburg, they also had a change in this map on Mirage. Get Right's no longer on Cat, where he's been so many times. It's Forrest that's actually there. He's back over toward A. And I have to say, I was impressed with him. I thought Get Right did a great job holding the top of connector earlier on today.
Similar to what they did on Inferno, right? Get Right and Forrest just swapped sides and see how it goes. Reminds me of back in the days when you had like a major. This is not exactly a perfect comparison, but after majors, people just kind of swap roles and positions just to kind of create a more, but a different style of playing the game. And I think it's actually something that teams today should have in consideration, because not only are you automatically a little bit less predictable, because every player has different patterns, right? When you see someone, you react in a certain way, and your brain is kind of hardwired to do certain movements. That's great, so you can get some more diversity into your game, both as T and CT. But furthermore, it also makes the former player when you swap role, you have a bigger understanding of how the map dynamics works, the angles, for example, and maybe later on you can swap back.
Yeah, and then you know how your teammate's playing.
Exactly. So you were maybe for the longest period of time, you're seeing Echo play, oh, you guys should learn how to protect bomb spot B, but then you're there. Okay, maybe they did a decent job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's all good news, because then your chemistry with the teammate works off a little bit better, too.
Yeah, I wonder short term, though, probably something I'm going to advise my guys is to maybe just have it one day every practice week where they just swap roles and try things out, because so they learn all the spots, all the angles and all that. Because I think Overpass, Cobblestone, these are two maps which are considerably quite new in the game. So there's a lot of kind of learning still to do, whereas Dust 2, Inferno, and of course Mirage, pretty much every player knows all the spots and all the tricks and things you can do on the map to gain advantages.
Map's been played and played again. I just want to ask a quick question. This is a bit off topic. I got it tweeted to me for Karn. After ESL, who's your top 5 teams right now? And
so Fnatic and IP, Virtus Pro, EnVyUs, and then I have to pick a 5th team. Which one will that be? Yeah, that's a good question. Can you name drop a few?
TSM maybe.
I would say
Na'Vi. I wouldn't say Na'Vi's there.
Yeah, I would probably put TSM there actually.
Cloud9? No, just kidding.
No, not Cloud9. But TSM surely. But top 4 is quite clear, I'd say. But it's getting a bit more difficult when you talk about top 5.
So we are going to get our way into the map, and of course, because it's already coming from the upper bracket, NiP was actually given the benefit of side choice. Interestingly enough, they're starting out on T. So they want to do it the hard way, get things underway, and figure out what they're going to have to do in a defense.
Yeah, it's really weird for them to do that, but at the same time, we've heard in the past, NiP, they like to play the aggression. They're going to attempt to do it now onto the A site. And Alu, as well as Freiburg, able to get that clearance out. So the A plant's already going to go down for NiP. Smith is still sitting on top of the A stairs, while Alu is keeping MBK stuck back down in that CT spawn. So we just spiked through a little bit. MBK has dropped down happy. He's able to get a revenge kill on the Forest, but there's still 3 players holding the A site. Very, very deep, and the time is ticking. There's no kits available for either of these players. There goes Happy. There goes Smith. He brings one with him, but NiP will take the first pistol round here on T's.
So that's a good start. It's the start they're looking for, and it was an excellent play to get inside of the A site. Alu coming out of those apartments was just an absolute burst, and you can see on the replay, 2 for him all the way through to the back of the site. They'll go for the scout for Smiths to try and get some early damage potential. Not surprising at all. We're going to see that gun come out. It's actually going to be on the back side of the stairs at the A site, just below where our camera's showing off right now. But look at Keo getting aggressive, pushing out. That's Alu down. Forrest responding, though, with that UMP. And look at Smith trying to find this jump shot. Oh, does get it on Forrest, looking for more. Freiburg hits him over top of the box. Thank goodness the jump scout's been canceled.
Freiburg knew he was going to come up. It's so predictable to see it. Now MBK taking his space. With that CZ auto, Freiburg Happy just basically sits nicely on the seat and gets brought down. So another plant for NiP, another good push in. They do lose a couple of players, but they hold on to the AK, they hold on to the Galil, and just a really great start. Alu actually managed to claim 4 players as well before in that first round, instead of just the 2, so he's sitting at the top fragger for NiP. And NiP, this time they're going to mix it up a little bit more.
And they're going to go for a stack A side for EnVyUs as well. So Keo's up in shadow, Smith's on site, Shock's in the hiding spot in behind the box.
I look towards that mid player. Like, Get Right's the man that could just open up that mid connector for them.
Well, and even more so, get information. If you can figure out that there's no one over toward B.
Happy's pushing up.
Well, yeah, and Happy goes out and takes him and keeps him out of this, then NiP's going to walk into it. Forrest is already going through, and Happy's caught Get Right off. That's a free gun for the retake, and now they're walking into this stack. They're going to have to be very careful. And luckily, Forrest and Freiburg, so good on their entries, pick up one apiece. And then the nade, the Pokeball, going to take out NBK. So it's all left up to Happy, who tried to go forward and grab Get Right's gun. He's in connector. This bomb plant's going to go down, and Forrest and company should be able to collect this 3rd round.
Freiburg with the nades. It's been amazing. Forrest, he's gotten 2 breach nades already over onto A, which have claimed lives. So Ninjas and Pyjamas, they're reading EnVyUs' spots perfectly. This was something which we saw with their map on Cash in the ESL 1 matchup, where NiP, they just knew everywhere where EnVyUs were going to be, and they just systematically moved through spot after spot after spot. And EnVyUs like, well, we got weapons, but never getting the advantage because they're always getting picked. Ninjas and Pyjamas will have to slow this one down. Again, though, they're looking to the A side. The bomb is just sitting back at T-spawn. But they do have 3 committed in for the short A.
So interesting how they're trying to read right now with those 2 players over on the B side in the apartments, just sitting by the doorway.
A lot of defensive smokes.
They're expecting a push there or something along those lines. They boosted up to watch for it, and they actually are going to get it. So they're reading Happy perfectly. They won't see his feet just yet, but if he goes forward even a little bit further, Forrest will have that information. And they're actually starting to favor toward that side as well. So if Happy gets a little too happy, they'll have him dead to rights. They're still trying to wait for it. They're being very patient in doing so. NBK is getting a little bit cheeky on the corner at Catwalk as well, and here they come around. Look at those lasers just edging out the angles. Process of illumination, checking everything. They'll smoke off the window late just in time to make sure that Smiths couldn't get back there to hold off mid and spam away at the corner. Here comes Happy, though. Here's that exchange. Forrest is just to his left. Is he going to spot him? He does get the better of it. Forrest looked too far to the right when he came around the corner.
That's not going to stop Freiburg, however, from pushing up through that catwalk area. Zalu, we won't get to see the response to that one. He did actually kill off Smiths while they're pushing up through catwalk. But Shocks into the kitchen, looking to do a dinner, serving up NiP. That's Freiburg able to finish that one off. Alu with his second now for the round, and leaves our last player, Keo, back inside of the kitchen area. He's trapped. They're watching from both sides. That's Alu with the op. Gonna miss the shot. And in fact, will lose his life, in fact. The bomb is ticking down, and Keo back to the cash register. Takes out Freiburg as well. So only 2 players left, but Keo is happy with what he got. He knows he can't take any more. Wants to save the M4. Exist will save the orb for NiP, but the 4th round belongs to NiP.
So only 1 gun to work with now for EnVyUs this time. Flawless start so far for NiP. 4 T side. EnVyUs in our first match against Penta had a great T side. Against Virtus Pro, not so much. This was the map they actually dropped against them, which more than likely was one of the reasons that NiP chose this early on to go against them. So that 1M4 for Keo is going to have to be strong. He does have a front spawn. He's going to walk it over toward A, 3 heading toward B, and NiP is going to contest middle. Yeah,
they're moving so quick. This is the man with the front spawn. As again, Forrest, that distraction you're talking about over on the A. He has been smoked up, so there's nothing you can do apart from spray. But NiP, there's no one this time over on the catwalk. Instead, they have to look towards connector where Smiths is. He's just able to get the upper hand on him. There's still window. In fact, actually, no, Keo's moved back. So there's no one in window anymore. He's back over towards jungle, coming into connector. They need to see vision over towards that catwalk. And now, while they get the vision, it's also brought with a bullet to the eye of Keo. 2 players defending very tight on the site. Smoke down one side. There's a reveal of NBK. Second player now going to jump down. Happy brought down. And NiP with a flawless round, not losing a single player, 5-0. And I suppose my words being shoved back down my throat of EnVyUs having a good CT half. Right now with 5-0, Ninjas in Pyjamas choosing the Ts, and rightly so. They are rolling so much momentum.
And they've got the op out, though. They finally got the op out. It's Happy that's going to grab it, but he's not going to go to window. He's going to go toward catwalk with
Alu.
it.
Where's the pick?
Well, he's already around the corner, but like I say, no one's there. They're going to try and play this from connector and the off angle from the cat, so no one directly in window. Smiths is going to support with Shocks, so even if they push up, there's a good crossfire set. Shocks is watching that underpass. Forrest is heading that position right now, so this is where the exchange is going to be. Happy's got the first initial peek, but couldn't get the damage. Actually takes a brunt of it in response, down to 21, forced all the way back to the far side of that window. And the nade, that flashbang out, forcing Shocks out of the stairwell and to peek that underpass.
NiP's coming back, eh? They couldn't get the pick off in mid. It looks like they're committing over towards the B side, and they know at least 1 player has moved off the A. So there's only 1 on A stairs and 1 sitting on the site itself. It looks like the movement is coming back. So Happy. He's only got 21 HP. But it should be enough to get the first pick.
Good crossfire up close in A, though. Keo was in shadow. He's fallen back now just to bomb box, but Smiths is also over on the sandwich.
Alu getting picked out by Shocks. So they've lost the AK in the mid. Smiths, he's tanking up the molly so he can come out a little bit later. Freiburg is not going to stop him from getting the kill. They still have to find that one on the site. Keo is there, blinded, now exists. He sees him, but too late. As NBK up on the stairs. Freiburg bound in that cubby. He needs to find some level of opening here with a 4-on-2 situation. That's not going to be there. A 1-for-1 trade is not enough for NiP to take this round. It looks like EnVyUs, and there it is. EnVyUs will take their first round of map number 1.
Good retake, good control. Excellent play from NBK up on top of the stairs at jungle. That smoke held out Forrest below him. He couldn't quite get the line of sight onto him, but he got the kill in the end. Shocks did a good amount of damage as well. NiP's entry wasn't too bad. That Molotov up close on Sandwich did force Smiths out of hiding, but even though he went down, they couldn't get much more than that, and they just didn't smoke off the site correctly. They still left a bit of a gap at the top of the stairs, and like I said, that's where MBK took full advantage of it.
Here they come. Breach through high. And Shox, the crossfire that was also there between Keo and Shox. That's too much. Ninjas in Pyjamas are going to fail in this push. Exist at least is able to pick up one. But I doubt he'll get more. Molotov's coming his way, and he has to back up. He's got the bomb, and he's even going to get flanked.
Keo's aggressive too, so he won't get anywhere. Happy's already found him. So 2 good rounds in a row. Economy's still decent for NiP, though. They had such a great start. Freiburg had 9 kills to start things off. And they'll be able to buy out 1 more, but this is all they're going to get. In fact, they're going to get 4 straight to the op. Yeah, okay, so 2. I didn't see Alu grab one as well. So what are the spawns right now? Alu's going to be your first to the corner. Forrest is also heading that direction. He's going to go up and toward the apartments and pick in toward B. So they're going to try and open up both sides.
It was actually get right.
Alu didn't go for that peek, though. Happy beat him there to the wall and to the window, and Alu knew he didn't have a chance, so they smoke off the corner. He's going to try and get himself a little bit deeper over to the left side of mid to get this shot, but Happy's already gone and made himself at home at B.
Forrest tried to find that pick, but yeah, good luck for that one, man. With Molly and Smoke, you're not getting anywhere near that. Exist up through connector, however. They let him have underpass, and he knows Smiths is there. Smiths banging through the box, finally picks his head up. Taking out Exist, but Freiburg knows exactly where they are, so they just keep the spray coming. But Smiths, and that box is made of lead. They just can't take him out. Now finally Freiburg can come in. Mainly because the
Go TV glitch ever. I'm just doing circles around the dead body.
Really? Disco, man. Happy. That'll take out Freiburg in the middle. They're getting flanked. They have to look behind themselves right now. Both of these AWPs, they're going to get lost as Shox takes out Alu and Forrest, leaving the last remaining player, Get Right. He doesn't have the bomb. He's just trying to breach into B, and he didn't see where MBK was. All a little bit too late. And Ninjas in Pyjamas, a very, very costly round, losing both of these AWPs.
And they were going to have to save regardless.
But it's also because both of the AWPs now in the hands of EnVyUs.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had to save it. Like, they could have forced out 5 Galils right now if they wanted, but that's not worth it. Not in this game. They've already got 5 rounds to their name. If they want to get more or take a full advantage of this half, they're better to just save it out early and play later for those rounds rather than breaking their economy and buying too many times and never really getting a cushion to get back into it. So, double op was worth it where they were going to be in this situation regardless. But I have to say, EnVyUs has looked a lot more confident on their defense. Again, MBK is going for that jump spot at B, but Shox has found them in middle, and look at the positioning of them. Happy's now on the catwalk. He's going to catch out one more. That's Get Right to go down. The bomb's with Alu. He's coming up from the underpass. Of course, he's only got that pistol, but they're all over him. There's nowhere for him to go. He gets one, but that's all he's going to get.
The initial shot from Freiburg kind of needed to connect to bring down the CT connector, because when that ended up happening, like the run came out from, I think it was actually Forrest, sorry, that did it, and then Freiburg walked in front of the CT connector, and yeah, didn't look up. They were looking too many different directions. He got flanked up by Catwalk, and that's what we call the sandwich effect. And then the push. It's split up again. So there's distraction players. Forrest and Exist teaming up together to take out the underpass area. It's a very thin defense from Envy now in the mid. But there's still that one player. It's Get Right who's coming through Palace. He's not moving up too far. Happy with the AWP. Gets the pick over on Forrest. And then now moves up even more aggressively so he can see deeper. Get Right, so it's able to bring down the flankers. They're keeping it tit for tat until Exist will drop. And Alu was the man trying to get that pick into apartments. But he's looking too late. The aggressive push came from Happy and he just backed it up. When it's a 3-on-3 situation and NBK is sitting on 5 HP, they have to do something to stop this. Is Freiburg patient enough? I don't know if he knows if Keo has pushed in through Palace.
Alu's going to be coming around the corner just when Shox shows up. He takes him down, but Get Right could have had that opportunity to try and push through A and secure it further. Instead, he's going to watch for this angle for Shox to exit out of Palace, but that gives MBK the chance to get to the backside. Oh, they've got to be careful. They've got to be so careful. Get Right's going to go all the way through to jungle. Freiburg's now going to be the one that has to take care of Shox and Happy. Great shot coming through the vent, so Get Right's down and out of it. and Freiburg's completely surrounded.
Yeah, he knows where all of them are, however. With that Molotov coming out from CT, he knew one jungle, one CT, and one inside a palace. So he's got all the information he requires. He just needs to hit the shots.
Oh, he's going to try and just go for this plan. He only had 3 seconds left, so he had to stick it. There was no way he was going to get both kills. At very least, he would have got money for the team, but instead he gets nothing at all. Now we've got a tie game. Good response from EnVyUs.
This is the more like the play we were expecting from EnVyUs on the CT side.
By the way, this also means the money bonus is in full effect now for NiP as opposed to how it was at the original start of this game when it was EnVyUs, so it's gone completely back the other way. Happy's with the op again, by the way, and he's going to go back to Cat with it. So he hasn't gone to window with it yet. He's been playing it from the catwalk angle.
You have to peek out through the side. And she's not even going to peek. They wait and stay defensive. NiP, this time they got a full commitment over to the B side. No floaters from Forest. Freiburg, damage. Coming into Happy, down to 67 HP. They get blinded in the middle. Alu's trying to help him out. But they cannot find an opening until finally Shox will go down in the window. But that's still not much of an opening. The best opening they can get is their push up through B. Into the apartments. Now the battle in mid. There goes Alu. It's only the last player left alive, Forest, in apartments. In fact, he's down on top of the truck, but Kyo can see him. It's almost an impossible task for Forest.
Yeah,
he's been watched from
Happy's
3 different angles.
Happy just held the bomb site. Didn't give him anywhere to go. Crossfire was set. So now it's 6 in a row. Half turned around. This was looking very good for the Ninjas at the start. But the Frenchmen have put away the white flag. They're going to sail their own, and now they're going to get into it with an op-out for Happy. They're going to go right back to him. And this time, let's see if he goes. No, he's still going to go to catwalk. So he likes that angle. He really does. He can, of course, reverse back to apartments, and as we saw, hold off that bomb site a lot quicker, but that means Shox and Smiths have to play together over at Connector. Smiths this time's actually on the back stairs. Kyo's gone to Shadow, so a bit of a different formation for them at A. Oh, great nade. Shock's going to tank that one down to 52.
That was prepped by the smoke nade. They realized there was only one small corner from Connector that you could watch from there, and then the nade, they just threw it out in him to see if Shox was aggressive enough to look for it. MBK holding the top of the apartments. Going to make it difficult to bring that bomb up for NiP. But if they can bring down that mid, nope, they can't. Freiburg sniped out by Happy. That was from Catwalk. And already EnVyUs are moving themselves over. 2 heading into jungle, and they just leave 1 behind in A. But the push is on the way in for NiP. Good flashes. In fact, good counter flashes as well, stopping NiP from getting out. Exist is blinded by the light. But they do manage to get the entry frags. But they cannot get the following ones. That's now a 1-on-2 situation. Alu, the man to do it up against Kyo. Kyo a little bit late into the site. He was that floater that was just left back over on the A. He tries to find the opening. Alu, he does have the bomb moving all the way around the side, and he sees him in there, and the shot, it goes the way of Kyo. So EnVyUs, they hold the advantage for now. 7 rounds to 5 in this first half.
Now mentally, you had momentum early. You've lost it. The wind's out of your sails. Be great to get another one before halftime, but if you don't, you're giving a full head of steam to EnVyUs going over to the harder side. Ninjas are going to have to find a way back into it. They've got to stay composed. They are a team who's very composed in that regard, but time to show it again. A little bit of that magic to make its way out. Alu's going to go with Get Right this time up toward Palace. They're going to smoke that off in the form of EnVyUs. So Kyo's up above on that balcony looking directly at the doorway, but here comes the executions. Nades over, Chinese fireworks in toward that site, and Exist has to run through the fire. Speaking of it, he's going to have to go because his teammate made the decision, and oh, that slow draw time at the CZ can't even get it out. So Shox tears them apart, and NiP get nothing once again.
And that's rough, but at the same time, we're looking at a buy now. So Alu's able to pick up the AWP, and Freiburg, Forest, Get Right, and Exist. All AKs, everything they're searching for. I want to see this mid pick. Is Happy? No, Happy's not. He's taking the AWP over to B. He's looking over towards the apartments once again. Which means Alu gets to have the freedom to try and pick off these M4 players in mid. While Exist comes in from behind, or I should say, below. Okay, so Happy did in fact get over to Catwalk. Takes out his counter AWPer. So Alu's going to drop. Defensive smoke from Shox. Will make it easy to find the pick over on Exist, but he doesn't need to. There's a small gap there.
Oh,
that lets him see the
flashes
Catwalk and
out.
just walks in. Perfect play by him. You got a 3 for in the last round, and now NiP just gets shut down by him again.
And this is typical EnVyUs. Now that they've got confidence, look how aggressive they are on their pushes through these smokes. Smith's again taking full advantage of mid. Not the first time we've seen him do it. In fact, I think that's the third time we've seen him get that kill at the top of middle late in the round. Freiburg, all that's left.
Bomb's too far away. He got scattered out by EnVyUs as well.
Keo's got eyes on him. Oh, Freiburg actually going to get that kill. So now if he runs back to the bomb in time, he might be able to at least pick it up. He's still got 30 seconds. He could go the long way to A, and NBK's aware of that, so he'll go back over in that direction. Freiburg's not going to go for it. Happy's going to get the kill. So 9 straight rounds now for Team EnVyUs.
He only needed a millimeter of vision on that head. I mean, the AWP very deep inside a cat for the short. Ninjas in Pyjamas, they're losing control of this. It's the last round. They want to get at least one more if possible. I don't have full bias, and it looks like it's going to be a fake to A with the bomb floating to B. If they can bring enough of those mid players. In fact, look at EnVyUs. They're already running straight back up the mid. It's Shox who's up all the way up the mid, trying to get some information. And potentially split Ninjas in Pyjamas in half. Oh, they're coming back. 4 players from EnVyUs just sitting on this A side. Which means if you can get that initial frag over on MBK, then you got a chance of just taking the B. But that's all in the hands of Forest.
They went aggressive, too.
They're coming
on
back.
The early defense. Yeah, Shox is back to window.
But the funny thing is, Forest did the shot. So then you bring one to window, you brought a second player onto the B side. So now Ninjas in Pyjamas can try and breach. And Forest is doing all the smokes, all the flashes, as though they're legitimately pushing into B.
Shox isn't fully sold, though, because they haven't made a presence yet, so he knows that that's a standard fake play. Happy's also coming back, and Keo's going to annihilate them. He doesn't even care. He's going to do it all himself. Shox finally joins in on the party. That's your bomb down, and Forest finds himself all by his lonesome. He was your fake player. That was a great read, because like I said, Happy wasn't sold at all. Forest did have a good initial start to that, but where there was no bodies showing up on the back of those smokes, it just becomes a little bit too obvious. So halftime's going to close out with 10 rounds in a row for EnVyUs. Great response from them after what looked like a great NiP start.
Yeah, thoughts, Khan?
Certainly. So the bad news for NiP is the fact that they lost 10 straight rounds. But the good news is that with their legacy and 4 out of 5 members, original members, are still in the team, they can keep the composure up, they can keep the spirits high. So they have 5 rounds on a CT-orientated map. So surely they lost 10 rounds in a row, but that doesn't mean they cannot switch over to CT and play really good counter-strike. I was quite amazed how adaptive EnVyUs eventually played. Going aggressive with the sniper, Happy on catwalk, Shox pretty much roaming around the map and being extremely aggressive, often catching the NiP players off guard. But still a very open battle. Curious to see how the pistol round goes.
Well, you're going to see right now as we're back into it. One float player in mid, the rest of EnVyUs just going straight on top of the B site. And they get the opening frag on the Forest. There's a 1-for-1 trade-off. These CTs. NiP aggressively just pushing through the site. Now they're only down to 2 for now.
Happy's on the rotation from behind, so Alu's all that's left.
He won't get there in time.
He's got the bomb planter down, but no, can't get MBK.
The number game was just against NiP there.
They played for that retake. The problem was, well, entirely the number game was against them, and even worse so than that, Freiburg was stuck inside the site, so he was trying to stay alive long enough. He got caught out at the back side of the van, tried to get cheeky and go around behind them once they entered in, but when he went down, they had to basically rush out in force with only 3 members left, and it was never going to work. So EnVyUs now with 11.
We've got a heavy stack from NiP over towards the A. They do have Alu with that scout, sitting back on the CT stairs. And then a very defensive position from Freiburg. He's not even moving out of kitchen this time around. As EnVyUs realize there's no one in mid. The smoke's blocking up the window. I think they're also slightly concerned about Alu's scout, but normally can play it from CT stairs anyway. And they're bringing the bomb back to the stack of NiP. So EnVyUs, they tried to dummy. And now they're going to walk into the primary defense line of NiP.
See if Alu changes his angle. He's still looking toward that connector.
So we'll look for GetRight's vision. Sitting up on top of the stairs. Now he'll switch the angle. Sees him.
Oh,
claims
nice
one.
shot.
Already on Smiths. The bomb being visible too. And up comes Exist, taking out MBK. They're not getting the upper hand here, but they're definitely making a couple of weapons drop for EnVyUs.
Now it's all to the scout. 2 body shots, though, is all it's going to take. His
Wait,
Happy's weak as well. Keo's the only one that really has full health. And if Alu can find him quick enough, it might make this interesting. He goes for the jump shot. A little bit of damage taken as a result, but he's still looking for more. No, Happy's going to get him over top of the box. And that shot, actually, 22 HP for Happy, could have gone back the other way to force a one-on-one.
It could have, but Keo kept the attention of Alu, and that's what allowed him to then take the high side, because the smoke was blocking him up. So Alu couldn't see to the left, so he wasn't thinking, oh, maybe he's just going to walk through on me. He was thinking, I picked this guy off. I know where this guy is at least. And then we can retake. But EnVyUs, with 2 rounds in a row, NiP onto another pistol, a full eco, not a single thing being purchased up by NiP. This is their throwaway round. So they'll see what they can pick up. At this point, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, Alu, he's the first one to do it. But the plant goes down. EnVyUs only lose 1. And NiP will go for a buy round now.
So 13 already. Now they just play it 1 round at a time. In the position where, so long as they don't completely throw away their economy with 4 spies every round or unnecessary pistol purchases, they'll just play it every second round if they need to.
Yeah, that was a bug for me. They have enough money to buy for the next round too. I think it was a bug.
No, they should have enough if they lose this one out. The only one who won't will be Shox. They'll force it for Smiths if they want to. It'll be interesting. They could go for the double save, though, like I say, where they only need to play it 1 round at a time at this point. MBK, though, has already got Alu. That's detrimental, although Exist responds. But look at Kiyoshima, so aggressive all the way up, all the way down Catwalk, catching out Forrest in the ladder room. I don't think he expected him to be there quite so soon. So now it's a man advantage again for EnVyUs, and NiP not able to get anything going. This is their map choice, so this is not looking good at all. Get Right finally gets 1, but NBK finding him. Freiburg trading it back, but look at the HP now. 2 on 2. Keo very weak. 9 for him, but Freiburg's got to find that shot first. He's got to find that angle, and he's not going to do it. They're falling back and heading toward A, and Exist has prematurely gone back toward Checkers.
Now they're going to have to do a full retake now with a late position. There is one moving over to CT stairs, but Keo plants in a very defensive position. Obviously the one they know they've got, which is from the mid connector and jungle. So one moving up through jungle for the... That's Freiburg we're on board with right now. And Keo, he's sitting inside the smoke. The flash will be there. So it is a 2-on-1 situation. It's on the T stairs and he knows it too. So Freiburg going to give the cover fire here. And Shox gets 1. Can he get the second? Oh. He can take the second as well. Ninjas in Pyjamas fail the retake. Can't get the defuse. And EnVyUs now 2 rounds away.
Exist got off that, and I think it would have been worth it to try and hold and force it, because it would have come down to the fact he would have had time to line up a shot, but take the chance that if he doesn't connect on one, he had a Galil, not an AK. He might have had a chance to hold that. So now they're back to pistols, and we're on 14 already. This map's going to be quicker than I would have thought by a long shot. NiP not able to get anything going. They lost that momentum. We talked about mentality, and they just can't get it going back. Finally, Get Right gets aggressive, but they've already got inside the A site behind him, so they'll smoke him out and just ignore him. They'll go in and try and get the bomb plant down. And yeah, look at them, completely annihilated. It's only Exist left.
That was wonderfully done by Shox. He realized that with his teammate going down inside a palace, the AK from behind them would have caused so many problems. So he just threw the Molotov up, so there was no way for Get Right to get any kind of good angle up against the planets, up against the Ts. And in fact, he even got the kill, so they didn't have to worry about that at all. So Ninjas in Pyjamas. It's a full buy round. Forest, Alu, Ops are up. Everything is up. And EnVyUs, they want to end this quickly. They're just making a full beeline for B. With flashes, smokes, blind as a bat. That was Forest on top of the truck, and they're in. But who's going to be the one to defend it? Freiburg, he at least is able to claim out 1. But there's not much more joy. Alu getting double teamed. And leaves Get Right and Exist to perform the impossible. To push out from kitchen, to come in through... Well, he's not even over a kitchen. They're both going to have to come in through the kitchen area. Shock's finally going to put the plant down. Get Right. That's a very optimistic spot.
Yeah, he's trying to find at least one that
He's
Shox.
On 1 HP, man. He got 1.
He did get Shox, so now it's down to 2 on 3, but I'd call it a 1.5. And yeah, with that left, it's Get Right down. So I would say Freiburg and Alu drank the Red Bull. The rest of NiP might have drank the Team Biceps drink, because they didn't really show up that time.
You were so saving that one, weren't you?
Too soon.
just coming in here and say that it's not often we see team of this sort, like these epic battles, EnVyUs versus VP, EnVyUs versus NiP or Fnatic versus NiP, whoever, tier 1 teams being able to win 16 consecutive rounds. Maybe the hour is late, but as far as I know, that's the case. 16 straight rounds. Quite amazing.
Yeah,
strong
that's
play
ridiculous.
from Shox as a start out during the CT. Lost 5 rounds, but then they felt like, okay, let's shift up a gear and being a bit more aggressive than we are now. And that paid off big time. Not too much to say about the T side of EnVyUs. They won the pistol round and they forced NiP to gamble on the pistols. Not successfully. It was only up till the very last round where they were able to afford double snipers, and that's kind of what they needed at that point. Not enough though. Forrest got overthrown in bomb spot B. And obviously his teammates weren't able to recapture the bomb spot and defuse the bomb. So good game to EnVyUs. I think we have Inferno coming up in a few moments.
Where we have Inferno and Cash, I think, are the last maps left.
Yeah, but I mean, you touched on the point that just blows my mind, especially against a team like NiP, which we always credit for composure. We even mentioned that 16 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And
Probably never happened before.
I don't think that's I think you're probably right. We'd have to look. I don't even think in 1.6 that would have happened with NiP. I can't picture that. I would have to dig through the history books, but I can't see that happening. I mean, the 10 on T, when they're playing T, they've already got 5. Okay, maybe I could see that, but not even picking up a single CT-sided round. That's just not what we're used to seeing.
That's crushing.
And it wasn't like you could say it was. Obviously, they switched over Forrest and Get Right, and B was a little bit weaker. Freiburg got caught off guard a number of times there, but maybe they go back to Get Right on Cat. I mean, that's one of those things where you change things and now you're hesitant about it.
Yeah, if you add another attribute to the 16-0 number here, well, it's not 16-0, but 16 consecutive rounds. The rounds were actually quite close, though. It was a lot of
apparently Fnatic
situations.
16-0 NiP on Inferno, someone says. I'd have to look that up, but regardless.
Thorin, where are you? But yeah, impressive nevertheless. Was a lot of close rounds that could have went either way, but here we are, 1-0 EnVyUs, and we're moving into Inferno.
Yeah, now we will. So we'll have a short break as the players get themselves ready. In the meantime, remember to subscribe to the Twitch channel because Twitch is working again. It's alive. And you can win yourself the Gut Knife Blue Steel, as we're pointing to right below. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel. It puts $2.50 as well into the prize pool directly to the competition, making it bigger and better. Crowdfunding CSGO style without being inside the game, created by Twitch. So please support the channel, get those wonderful emotes, perhaps win yourself a Gut Knife, and I will see you back here for map number 2 in just a moment. Reach through high, and Shox, the crossfire that was also there between Keo and Shox. That's too much. Ninjas and Pyjamas are going to fail in this push. Exist at least is able to pick up one. Fellas right now, both of these AWPs, they're going to get lost as Shox takes out Alu and Forrest, leaving the last remaining player, Get Right.
Nades over, Chinese fireworks in toward that site, and Exist has to run through the fire. Speaking of it, he's going to have to go because his teammate made the decision, and that slow draw time of the CZ can't even get it out.
Small gap there.
Shox
Unless you see the
flashes
catwalk,
way
he just
out.
walks in. Perfect play by him. Sitting up on top of the stairs. Now he'll switch the angle. Sees him.
Nice
one.
shot.
Already on Smiths. The bomb being visible too. And up comes Exist, taking out MBK. They're not getting the upper hand here, but they're definitely making a couple of weapons drop for EnVyUs.
Now just scout. 2 body shots, though, is all it's going to take. His Happy's weak as well. Keo's the only one that really has full health.
2-on-1 situation. It's on the T stairs, and he knows it too. So Freiburg going to give the cover fire here. And Shox gets one. Can he get the second? He can take the second as well. Ninjas in Pyjamas fail the retake. Can't get it.
esportsbets.com, a unique place for true gamers. The only place to bet on esports events. You know your way around a competitive gaming scene and are willing to take a risk? Watch regular broadcasts and earn real money. esportsbets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Welcome back, everybody, into the CSGO Championship Series, map number 2 for our grand final. The winner taking home a wonderful amount of money, as well as the LAN final position. It's NiP going up against EnVyUs, with EnVyUs the 1-game advantage.
1-game advantage indeed. And yeah, we haven't actually touched on that as much as we probably should have. So it's $5,000 for first just in this group stage. And like you said, direct invite to DreamHack Bucharest, $2,500 for whoever comes away second place. And then, of course, the last chance qualifier. Karin, we just saw 16 rounds in a row go against NiP, and now we're going in to the second map, and EnVyUs have to have not only confidence and motivation, but the 1-round lead, the 1-game lead. This is not looking good for NiP.
Yeah, and I'm getting, if I were NiP, I would get gradually more and more concerned about Shocks. He seems to be growing into a bigger monster the longer the night goes, right? And another interesting topic could be NiP's recent changes on Inferno, where they swapped get right to A position. So it's a matter of like how well oiled is the machine, the CT machine for them. How good is the coordination? I think they're gonna depend a lot on Alu, not only getting the picks and early kills, but also getting them the intel they need to rotate accordingly. But yeah, EnVyUs is on fire. And if they get a good start, this could also turn into a kind of one-sided game.
There is the one big advantage that is coming the way of NiP. Because they came through the winner's bracket, they do get to choose the side. So they're going to start as CT this time around on Inferno.
Well, we think that. I would have thought that on Mirage. They actually picked T to go against the first time.
But that wasn't a bad decision. Like, when they were 5-0, you'd be sitting there going, well done, boys,
yeah, exactly.
well done.
You knew exactly
16 hours around, 16 rounds later,
yeah,
Not
it didn't
hours.
exactly go that way. You mentioned the changes for them on Inferno. Mirage was the other map they changed up. Again, it was a forced get-right switch. Worked beautifully earlier tonight when they had the easier, well, I wouldn't say easier, but the game against Virtus Pro. Didn't work for them that time. Do they still run it? Do they question it? Do they just say go for it, that's their new strat and they want to play it? Or do they say, hey guys, whoa, we changed it up, it didn't work? Do we change their mentality back and say, hey, let's play passive and safe, let's go back to the way it was?
I think these guys in general, they're quite good at kind of brush these kind of games off as online games. Again, there's a lot of things on stake here, prize money, qualification to DreamHack, but it's not like they're going to make major changes just because of one game here or a few games over a week or even more. I mean, I think GetRight for the longest period of time, right, is notorious for his B play on Inferno, and same on Mirage, the way they've been playing there. It's just a matter of just kind of counter the recent trends and just being a bit less predictable towards the opponents. Because NiP, again, they have had 4 members. 4 out of 5 members has been in the team since day one, since 2012. So surely they should mix it up a bit. So it does make sense. Might need a bit more time to fine-tune the dynamics, fine-tune the coordination, and also for the players having a new position to kind of learn that, right? But I think it brings a lot of new interesting moves to the table as well. The dynamic Alu and Exist has on mid, and when they rotate back, they kind of use they use Alu as somewhat of a bait, and Exist is often standing, I don't know what they call in this position, but kind of the ledge next to Long. He was hiding there successfully against Fnatic, kind of gave me a few nightmares. But nevertheless, I think a great start here. Also, in combination of a late hour, that's kind of what's... at a late hour, it's especially important to have a great start, because then you can kind of calm down a bit and just play your game, whereas your opponent gets gradually more and more frustrated.
Well, I might have actually been wrong about the knife advantage, as it appears we do.
It's only the first map, I think.
It's only the first map. Okay. So we have that in the ears as well. So it's only the first map they had the side advantage, which means they have to do it the old-fashioned way here. And it looks like they're going to do it anyway.
So they'll get their way. Kyo's going to be the last to drop.
So we get to start up into the main round. Remember as well, guys, subscribe to the channel. Twitch is up and working. Hopefully, will remain that way. And at the end of this grand final, we will be giving away that awesome knife. But you must be subbed, be in the channel, and be ready to rock and receive rewards galore. And of course, you support the tournament. $2.50 goes to the prize pool, increasing it. I don't actually know what we're up to.
Goals. Yeah, we got those goals. So if you get $125,000 total for the prize pot, we do get one-on-ones. You can vote on who you want to see in those one-on-ones at DreamHack Bucharest.
And $150K?
We get the All-Star game, anyone included. Us as well, God forbid.
Yeah.
That would be...
Mercy, buddy, please.
The anti-All-Star game.
Yeah. Just All-Stars versus the casters in the panel. We're like, oh, no. Like, we thought those 16 rounds before were pretty brutal. All right, so EnVyUs, how they start this one up by getting completely scouted out by Alu. At least happy with the flank. He's able to get some level of damage out. But this push up from EnVyUs is being completely shut down at the top mid. Exist going huge, taking out 3 just by himself, revealing the bomb. And Happy is the last remaining player here. Back down on the T-stairs, and in fact, he'll drop down to Exist. So Exist grabbing 4 at the start. In fact, he actually got an ace. That was the full 5.
Right, he got all 5. Great play from him. Awesome start to this. Exist doesn't always have the greatest pistol rounds either, so...
Well, they kind of walked into him. We had no other choice right there.
No, for sure, but he hit the shots. That was the important part. So that starts it off well. No frag money even going the way for, well, I guess 1 for Happy. That's it, but otherwise not a lot at all.
Here comes that push-up second mid. NiP's still got 2 in the crossfire here. The smokes crossing out Exist. Opens up again. Taking out Smiths.
He's got so much money. He went straight for that M4, so he was able to hold that easily. He's just going to have to be careful not to drop it, but Forrest coming down Bananas made easy work of the rest of the players.
And GetRight's able to scout out Happy, who tried to push himself out through apartments. So it's been a pretty quick and efficient round. Forrest going to look to get the 3rd. He'll be able to do so if he wants. We can also grab that Tech 9 out of their hands. And that's going to be 2 rounds very quickly going the way of NiP, but I've seen this story before. It was a little bit different because they were playing T's.
I do believe I agree with you on that. This is still not comfortable, as we've seen. NiP's got to go all the way with this. They're going to go for the shotgun Alu, so he's going to head actually toward A with it. He'll play up close on the corner at the top of middle. Exist will play the opposite side of the crossfire. That leaves GetRight toward apartments. Like we said, they've switched things up, so it's double F for NiP. Forrest and Freiberg over at B.
I like how Kyo is trying to find these kills. Just a strafe shoot with the Tech 9. Doesn't have to stop at all, just tries to pick the gap. And now they'll move themselves over to B. The defense is fairly far up, sitting on top of the sandbags. There's in fact Forrest in close with the small SMG. Now to pick up 1 before getting breached through. Freiberg taking 1, taking 2, and he did pick up that Tech 9, using it against the T's. Only 1 remaining player, and that's going to be Kyo. And Alu trying to finish him off, and he will in fact do it with a Nova. And he saves the Tech 9 for his team. 3 rounds to Ninjas in Pyjamas, but we get our first buy round out for EnVyUs now.
And Forrest is going to be the first to pick up the AWP. Where's his spawn? Just let me take a peek as I get tossed over to the T side. I think he's got the close-up. Yeah, no, actually, I take it back. He's heading over toward B. He was on the far right. It was Get Right who was in the front.
Well, it's the one place that EnVyUs haven't really pushed up. Like, they've tried second mid, they've tried mid, they've tried this slow kind of pick. So they might just be expecting EnVyUs to do that quick B peak at least. Not a push, just a peak.
And in response to the fact that Forrest is there, Exist went to support that AWP in case they got up close with it. So he'd still hold the choke point, but then he immediately rotates out. They'll smoke it deep. So Freiburg will push up further into the archway in behind those pillars, and Forrest will also join A. So a great defensive rotation from NiP right here.
Yeah, they've managed to hold it up nicely. EnVyUs has taken so much chip damage trying to breach in. Get Right's going to stay alive and as far back as possible. He's only got 5 HP available.
The problem is they haven't gone all the way into A yet, so Exist is going to fall back over to Arch side. This will give Alu the chance to fall back over to B if they wanted to, but Smiths finds the first kill, so now they'll commit to A. Alu's going to have to be careful. NBK's still lurking back at B to keep Freiburg busy, and actually they're going to take that invitation, so Alu's going to have to guess correctly here and rotate out.
Freiburg can call this in time. Yeah, here comes the rotation. He's going straight down the speedway already, and the push comes in, but Freiburg gets picked by the moving in NBK. To take a lot of damage on the way in still, but they've got the live point advantage.
Oh, that's a very aggressive peek from Alu. There's no one else even around, so they aren't even going to go for this retake.
Nope.
Great read by Team EnVyUs to go back on that. That smoke that covered off CT did mean that Freiburg called for that rotation, but no one else showed up other than Alu.
Happy's actually hunting for the kills. He's moving up through mid past the hay
Right's only
bales.
got 5 HP as well, so this could go back poorly for him.
Yeah, he needs to get as far away as possible with that AWP. But then again, hello. And that actually means if they want to, AWP can go to them. It looks like they're going to stick with the AKs for now. Exist will at least hold the M4. So yeah, first round on the board for EnVyUs. Is this the start of 16? I'm not going to say yes.
I'm not going to say no. Actually, I am going to say no. I can't see that happening twice. That was unformidable circumstances.
All right, so EnVyUs. Again, we're going to see this second mid push. Flashes over the top. No quick movement into Boiler from NiP this time around, but they are going to watch towards the mid. So the smokes come in, and already the pick exists. He doesn't get the opening frag, so they take him out. One player has been pulled off B, but already... Okay, he stops that movement. Freiburg's coming back. Because Team EnVyUs went down, and now they're going to dummy it again, moving back up through the mid. They have to look to the left. That's where Alu is currently waiting. He grabs one, and then we'll finally drop down. And the speedway run again from Freiburg. He spent most of his time just on the treadmill this round.
Yeah, long rotation and then a little bit late as well. So Get Right is going to have to
Loves
hold.
this
We've
corner.
seen that corner use from him so many times. There's 2 already, and he's going to have to be a magician and find more. He's got the
he got
time
3.
bought out. Freiburg actually got
it.
that one, but he bought the time for the rotators, and now Get Right gets Kiyoshima. So well played from him to hold this site. How many 3Ks to this guy's name over the career? My goodness, he's so good in those spots in that type of moment. So he holds it on, and that's going to give them 4 rounds.
Does anyone else in the scene use that spot?
I think he's the only one to use it in that circumstance. Sometimes you'll see it post-plant, but he held on to it defensively there and read them very well to know that they were coming arch side.
The fact that he got the early pick as well, like you take that pick, there's no one else to come up through the right flank, and then he gets focused on the outside. We saw him use it when they played the T side. Because you know that retake is going to have to come in from library area, and that's where that position is the strongest. Because if they are coming from that area, you're fairly well exposed. But for now, the T's get right, perfect position. Takes out shots, can't take out Happy, however, but Alu caught EnVyUs looking the wrong direction as this was there to help out. Flashes up, tries to go for that pick, able to get it to Happy, the last man left alive, but the bomb is stranded in mid. And he's completely blind as a bat. Relying on Sonar to see Freiburg see that through that smoke. Down to 7 HP. Freiburg finishes the job. 5-1. We're not seeing a repeat of our first map.
The one thing Alu's got to be careful of is that every time he's got a kill, he's been immediately traded. And if he goes out too soon and doesn't have someone to cover off the gap he's going to leave, that's going to leave an opportunity for them to take Arch in the case of where he's playing. That time he was lucky enough to get the bomb planter before dropping down, but had Freiburg not been able to stay on that rotation quick enough, they would have potentially been able to swarm the 2 players. Get Right over at the A site, so he's got to be careful. This time it's going to be Exist holding off on the left side of top middle, and he's already going to get one. That shock's down. The smoke came out just a little bit too late to hold him off, so it's Alu over on the boiler side, and this time he's going to get one for free. He won't get traded away, and over at B, meanwhile, Forrest is just doing damage through that smoke. Pistol kill onto Smiths.
Yeah, MBK is able to find one, and he's revealed his position. Poor little Keo, though. He took damage from 2 separate nades as he was trying to move up through mid. So it leaves MBK on 22 HP. Exist is moving up now to try and just shut him down, allowing his weakened CT to hide behind the sandbags. And they're picking up as many of these Tech 9s as possible. 6 rounds to 1 in favor of NiP. They're starting to run away with this. But
Wow,
envious,
let's not say that.
I'm not saying they're
We
fully
were
ahead.
at 5-1 the last game, and look what happened. So
Yeah. But at this point, I'm also seeing EnVyUs with a pretty heavy buy. Smith is saving a little bit, just so going for the Tech 9.
a heavy buy and nothing left. They've bought deep into it as well. So
I think Smith is the only one with the extra cash.
yeah, only 1350 though, so not even much to speak of. Happy's looking for this lucky shot toward Boiler. Get Right's already pushed past it. He's on the stairwell.
And so deep on the defense on B for NiP.
Very passive. They didn't get enough presence out early, but they're going to hold off. Oh, no, they're not. It's actually going to be NBK who gets the kill on Forrest. Not normally the man
Oh,
who's
he's
there.
walking
It's
through the
normally
smoke.
Keo, but look at this push through. That flash came out just in time to catch out Freiburg. So they've got control of the site. They've got smokes off on both connection points. And the rotations in the form of Exist and Get Right are late. So the bomb's gone down. Alu's going to try and get aggressive. Just wait things out on the other side of that smoke over toward construction.
Yeah, they
Back in behind the sandbags, actually.
Keo got the perfect vision right now on the truck. Exist sprays up a little bit. He's using the flash as well as the nades try and clean it out. And his nade does manage to pick off shocks, but it's still a 3-on-4 situation. And the CTs are, in fact, not going to try and battle up against this. Force the T's to move back down Banana and just save their weapons for now.
Yeah, and they're all out Banana. Alu's going to have to be careful here. He's down. He lost it.
Whoops.
So that's a gun dropped as well.
Yeah, but NiP still have a fair amount of money. In fact, Alu just buys a straight AWP with armor. He's not waiting for anything. So we want to look towards this mid pick. Who's got the first spawn, though? Like,
It's actually
Exist the
Exist.
open.
Yeah, Alu was actually the furthest away from mid-spawn, so he'll be slightly late getting there. The good news is that the T's also had fairly deep spawns, so he could be there on the corner if he wanted to be, but he's not. They're actually going to go in toward Banana before he even gets around the corner. Happy's lurking over at alt mid. They can still deal with him, but the high smoke from NiP means they've got to play a passive B at this point.
Yeah, that's all we need to do. Nade, smoke, keep the cover there, allow Forrest to stand and force the T's to walk through. I think Forrest is about to, in fact, yeah, okay, there's a little bit of a battle on that side. Exist holding up inside of the cubby. Still 2 players right on top. It's just MBK making the noise over on top Banana. But the push is going to come from EnVyUs into mid, bouncing the nades off the corner. Exist. Just trying to spray through the smoke up a little bit. It's a little bit of return fire into him taking out his armor. And they breached up through top, but they say, you know what? We haven't got any kills. Let's go back to B. But NiP, they've still got the defense here. Was that actually a smoke nade flying over? Nope, not yet. They're going to need to. Happy sitting in mid. So he's become, again, this distraction man. As the breach is coming into B right now. Already, the Molotov's Freiburg with the flash is trying to blind him up. Perfectly done as well. I've had to burn up quite a hell of a lot of life points to get in here. Into Cubby Freiburg. They're trying to get the crossfire between the arch areas. Exist, check the left. He's going to. But it's a 3-on-2 situation. Quite heavily into the T's. As the spray comes in. Happy, he's flanking. Look from behind. He's going to find Exist. It's all up to Get Right, who's in the lower part of Banana.
1-on-3. How many times have we seen it? He's late getting there, though. That bomb's been down for about 10 seconds at this point.
They heard him.
Yeah, and they know he's there.
MBK's
MBK's
watching.
low. They're actually all quite low, so that's the first one easily. Good headshot from Get Right, but look at the crossfire. Yeah, he knows it. He's out of there. Hightailing it back out. Going to save the M4. So 3 rounds now for EnVyUs.
He wants to stick around to get the pick off on shocks. He doesn't want to let the T's have any kind of weapons. He's got enough life points to survive, though. It's
yes,
enough.
he should
It's
now.
enough.
Yeah, he should from there. Yep.
But is he moving back for the A?
There's actually quite a bit of a damage reduction at that slight little kink in the Banana, if I'm not mistaken. So He just got deep enough. I think he was probably fine either way, but I'd have to check out the damage points from the bomb plant again.
M4's flying everywhere for NiP. It'll end up in the hands of Get Right, Alu, as well as Exist. Forest, the man having to sack himself by the looks of it. And a heavy push coming up mid. EnVyUs keeping their backs turned as they move up. Exist unable to capitalize on this. Gonna get brought down. Now the push arrives. Arch side, Alu defends one. Can't take out, however, Keo. But Freiburg here to do the job. He knows he took out Shocks, means there's still one more on Arch side. MBK battling against the truck is Get Right, defending it quite strongly.
Such a hard shot to hit over that truck. It really is. Get Right stuck around for almost too long there, but still they just can't hit that over the hood.
Forest so quickly coming back to B.
Oh, Get Right. Good play by him. Catches out Keo. That's bomb. And they've also got Happy at top banana, so now it's just NBK left. He's on 34 life points, as you say. And Get Right's going to kill him, so
Hey,
they had
I
folks
stopped
secure
saying
the
that a
bomb.
lot. I stopped saying that a lot.
I know. Homage to Toby Wan. I just had to get it in there.
I like that move from Forest. He really read that, just that roaming B player who could come from behind. Read it perfectly, got there at the perfect time, and actually slowed down at the perfect time as well. So he couldn't be read, that movement couldn't be read. Also don't know why they just fired off Tech 9 shots into Happy, so he's already down in life. Smiths will join him after copping a nade to the face. And the push is heavily coming up mid. They get to the top, and they're going straight in. The flashes, blinding him up a little bit. In fact, that's almost a bit of a team flash as well. Get Right, brought down inside the pit. 4 players from the T's, however, down to half of their HP. Here they come. Forest should be able to take out Happy right now, as they got to retake the site. A 3-on-2 situation. Flashes and smoke. Freiburg still got a small little corner where he might be able to see MBK. MBK, in fact, using the flash to give himself that cover. Shocks down the back. NiP literally standing on top of each other at the moment, but Forest opens up.
And they've smoked him off. He's going to have to play it from truck, so it's a predictable angle. They need to get on this defuse right now, though. It's planted default. Shocks is going to do this. He's easily got it because Freiburg's got no HP. They needed to get on that bomb immediately, and they just didn't do it. It was a predictable angle for Shocks. I'm surprised they played him direct like that. He would have had to come around the backside of the truck to get a clear shot at the diffuser.
Yeah. So now we're in a position where EnVyUs have the money, and NiP are forced to just go pistols. A smoke as well as a flashbang, that's all that Forest will have to try and hold the top of Banana. Well, they rely on this early push up through Boiler. Exist, can't find those opening frags. He's got support from Get Right, so they get the crossfire. Get Right's able to claim one in the hand, which has been in the Keo. The rotation's coming so quickly. The T's on the site. Get Right's going to be dropped. Alu as well. No time to even let off one shot. And MBK mops him up. So 7-5.
And they're starting to get the rounds now. 4 of the last 5. So that also means that that round came right in the middle of it. There's no money bonus for NiP. And they're going to force it out. 1 P90 for Freiburg, 2 FAMAS, and 2 M4A1s. Forest and Exist holding on to those, and they'll go back to Forest and Freiburg over at B. No smokes coming out. They've got one to work with, but already Happy's trying to push up. Smith's going to find out Alu, though. That's a good kill, because now you're going to divide your defense.
In fact, EnVyUs aren't entirely sure exactly where they want to take this bomb. They'll bring it up their mid, then they switch it back over towards the B site. So they throw smokes as well as some nades over towards the mid. And they will try and come up to B. There is still that boost up. So they have to be careful. Forest from up on high turns his back. A lot of flashes. How much damage can he do from here? He's waiting for them to come out. Takes out one. Looking for the second. He takes him two. But there's only 2 players left for NiP to try and do a retake. Get Right a little bit too late. He can't find any picks. And if Exist tries to run down the middle, well, Happy saw him. And Happy will kill him. Yeah, it's just Get Right with that FAMAS. Coming up through construction into the garden. And he's dead. Bump. So EnVyUs almost leveling the score up again.
NiP's known for T side, but they're also known for not doing enough to give themselves a chance on the CT side. Thorn said it recently in a video. They almost have to play spectacular and limit their mistakes on the defense. Well, they're giving up a lot of rounds right now. Envy has found a way through them. They need to put a stop to that. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do much with pistols. Just hold on to these choke points. It's going to be Exist and Get Right, and they're actually spreading out over it, the A side, and Get Right's back in the apartments. He's going to fall back to the site now and try and hold it, but look at this grouping right now from EnVyUs. They're just holding both truck side and arch with the crossfire, and it's Smith that's looking for that shot with the op, so no one can even peek them.
And NiP are actually predicting that EnVyUs is coming to the B side. There's only one player left over on A, so they're stacking against Happy. And Forest, he's peeking. I don't know if he couldn't see Happy's shoulder enough, so he's coming in closer for a better look. And Happy, spray, perfect. Forest will drop. They're chasing him down further, but because the battle's already started over there, now the rest of EnVyUs have gone on to the A side. Plant to go down. So they did manage to kill off Happy, so there's an AK in the hands here of Freiburg. Well, that's lost. It looks like it's well, Alu. Just get a revenge frag more than anything else. Okay, maybe more than something else.
So that gives him the opportunity to push out and grab that AK as well, as we saw. So he'll grab that.
They're going to save.
Exist might be able to get that second AK. There's another one down there too, so he'll pick that up. So they'll get 2 AKs for it, and we'll head into the last round. 7-7 going to be the score. It would be awesome to see NiP come out 8-7, because if they go down and lose out this first half against EnVyUs, they're going to have to play absolutely lights out. Otherwise, this is going to be over in 2.
So let's see how it goes. Last half. Buy it if you got it right now. As much as you can achieve. Nothing but rifles for NiP. Play in as close as you possibly can. And they will be still doing the standard 2B, 3 over to A. EnVy, they've basically been given the mid multiple times. This time though, Alu throwing a rather aggressive nade down mid. Doing some chip damage to Smiths. In fact, 3 of the players. I'm not too happy with going up through mid. They do have shocks in through Boiler Room, however. But they're letting him have it. Forest from Sandbags. Defense against 1. Wants to jump himself back. Took a little bit of chip for it. With a Molotov. Yeah, he has to get all the way out of there. It is going to stop EnVyUs from instantly pushing up. And in fact, they don't want to. They're back towards the mid. But Ninjas in Pyjamas, they never rotated the player over to B. So they've still got one arch side in the hands of Alu, being Alu. Flashes fly high. And the bounce off again. Looking for that opening. Alu just sprays a little bit. Again, more tags moving back for the rest of his team.
Get Right's trying to time this with this flash from the balcony. He's going to pop that out. That gives Exist a bit of a chance to peek, but no one's coming around the corner just yet. Now they do. Great shot. That's 1 down. Exist holding off. Another one for him over the back of the truck. Well held. Normally that's Forrest that plays that spot, but with the change up, Exist is the one that's there this round, and look at Get Right coming around the corner. So they do get that 8th round. They will close out with just 1 round the advantage in the half. I don't know if that's going to be enough or not, but it gives them a bit of a chance.
Right now, man, it's still anyone's game.
I think EnVyUs did an amazing side, considering they were down 3-0 initially and then 5-1, but they never gave up. They tried different styles. They tried to be aggressive early on when they were on somewhat of a low buy AK armor. Just tried to go up middle, caught Exist off guard in short, for example. They probably went as much A as B as well. So they tested the waters, I would say, successfully. Surely NiP catch up a bit in the end, squeezing it into a 8-7 advantage. It's turning into T now. So all in all, strong play from Shock. They're winning a few key rounds, and Exist was just playing brilliantly. It aced on the pistol, and then a few really key moments when he shot down a few 1, 2, 3 EnVy players.
Well, NiP is going to need that magic again that Exist found at the start as they try and go up banana. Happy moving up very, very aggressively. Takes out 1, looking for the second, getting a couple of tags in. MBK down to 6 HP.
Crucially, damage done to Forrest as well, because especially even more now, just gets out 5. And yeah, there it is. Happy gets him. So now this round looks really good. And can he equal the task? Can he go for the ace this time? No, Alu's going to get him. I jinxed his chances right there, but MBK gets away with it. Forrest not able to get his pistol rolling. That's a huge part of NiP's start to halves.
And what do they do for this next round now? How heavily do they want to buy? Or
I mean,
is
they
it just
they didn't get much at all rolling for them there.
Yeah.
Not a bomb plant, nothing. They'll go for Tech 9, no surprise, but this means they won't be able to buy even if they get a bomb plant in this round. So you're basically limiting yourself to a 3-round spread right now.
moving so quick up second mid? They've already managed to take Apartments, and EnVyUs heard them. That's why they're falling back to a more defensive position at the back of Apartments. Shox is the one waiting up on top of the balcony. A little bit of spray already coming out from the graveyard. He's trying to keep their attention to the left so Shox can shoot him from the right. In fact, Shox already bringing down the 2 players who are pushing up their mid, having to fall down to the pit. But NiP, they're on the side. Get right picking up 2. They have to look back towards that mid. They know Happy's on the way in here. They also know the bomb is lost here. So Happy defending it. The nade. He's going to line up for 2. Too easy. Way too easy. NiP, the bomb position is what crippled them there. If they could put the plant down, if they could defend on the side, they would have been fine. But the bomb was just, it was rando. They trying to push it up through mid.
Get right forced back so early on.
It was Shox's attack though. That attack from up on balcony, that's why the bomb was dropped in that position. And the fact that he was allowed to do that because of the crossfire they had on that from the graveyard.
Happy with that double too, really. I mean, like you say, that bomb was hard to reach. They had to get out and get it, but Happy got lucky they lined up the way they did. A little bit of a fortunate or unfortunate circumstance, depending on which team your skins are laid upon. So they'll go for this boiler push right now, try and get up inside. There's no one in that position. It's actually Shox who's playing in the apartments, but he's quite passive back toward the balcony. He is peeking the hallway. Actually, he's changed it now. He's back out toward the balcony, but was peeking initially before that smoke came out. This gives them a bit of position to work with. Keo's gone all the way off the top side of mid, as has Smiths. But this passive A, they're trying to lure NiP into it. They want them to think there's more opportunity there than there really is. And there it is. Happy's going to peek out and get the first one.
Now Smiths will have his turn. Grabs a second, looking for the third. Can't finish the job, however. As Alu how to pick up that M4 into his hands. Only 2 bullets in the chamber, however. And, well, Happy only needs his pistol to do the work. There's 1 player left, and that is Get Right. He at least has the bomb up in mid. And with that Tech 9, he needs some luck. He's not going to get it. EnVyUs. Momentum staying with them for now. 8 rounds to 10 in their favor.
And I like the way they played that. They got off your initial peak spots on either side of top mid. They fell back into the bomb site. They had the 4th player rotate out of B early, and NiP just walked into it. They had more room than they needed. They took it. They tried to get in deep, and it was too late by the time Happy came around the corner and got that first kill. They were already committed to their position, so very well played by EnVyUs.
Well, up again. Through the banana. The flash is the perfect timing for Happy, but he cannot capitalize on it. So he'll be dropped. Freiburg to do the work. Exist as well. They've opened up the B side quite heavily.
That fire just slows them down enough, though, so Smiths is in position. He's going to throw out that smoke to delay them even further, but they're going to go through this. Surely enough, there's got to be a flash for Exist to get through. They've got to know there's only one there.
He's just checking every corner. They're being so defensive. Obviously, things have not been going your way.
So they actually haven't gone through it. They're playing a lot more passive. They've got their smoke out on CT, but it's already gone by the time they commit, so there will be line of sight. Smiths has already got one. Luckily, Exist goes back into him, and Keo hasn't found anyone just yet. He will get in construction, though. And
Nice.
through the smoke onto Freiburg, knowing his angles to perfection. As now it's Get Right on the lurk position, trying to hold off this rotator, but careful, Get Right. That's your knife, not a gun.
Really
Flashes now will hold them off, so bomb's already down, and there's only Shox and Keo remaining.
If Shox can get this Nana down, he needs to kill off Get Right. He can do it. This buys space for Keo. Alu's still sitting inside. Yeah, he's realized it. Sitting on top of the banana on the truck. Exist has no other option but to stay here until the bomb explodes. Because Keo will peek for him. Or will he? No, he doesn't. He holds back, lets them run away. And they're all, in fact, will escape with their weapons. And into the Pyjamas get a much-needed round.
Very needed. Very, very needed indeed. So that gives them their first of the half and the first gun round. Good execution. They waited a little bit on that smoke. They waited for it to dissolve and get out of their way. I thought they might try and flash Exist through, knowing that it was only Smiths there, and then follow up and go for the trade. Instead, they get through and get him nonetheless, but it allowed Keo to get close. He had a great shot through that smoke, though. They did everything to hold him out. That was just a well-placed bullet onto Freiburg.
Looks like Shox is not going to let them have an easier time in apartments. He's got that Molotov he's dying to use. Flash around the corner, so then he can go for the shot. Get Right, able to outshoot him, however. The flash came just a fraction of a second too early. So Ninjas in Pyjamas. They still only have a one-man advantage. They're going to play this smart. Trying to push over to the B side. Exist will pull back. Forest. There's a pickup in mid. The A defense is looking very, very straggly right now. They hold one on... Okay, well, I'll say one on the truck, but he's already down, and one on the site. GetRight's got the perfect line for it. So it's just up to NBK, who's got the CZ. He's over on the B side, a very long way away from the rest of NiP. In fact,
I'll tie this back up.
He has no desire to get in there. Not only do they tie it up, how much money are we looking at over on Envy now?
Very low. I mean, they're sitting on 3 digits, so
we're looking at a pistol.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's nothing they can do to force this at all. And so NiP might have just done themselves again. It's T side for them that always seems to be these late comebacks going their way. MBK is at least going to take down Alu. And again, any damage. Oh, wow, actually, 2 get right.
Oh!
And he gets a third. What Forest?
No, he doesn't. He gets brought down.
That's a lot of investment for someone holding on to just a pistol, though. That's a lot of damage dealt. So they're going to have to buy out. If they hadn't had to buy those 3 guns, all 3 of those players would have had enough to buy in the next round, regardless of the result here.
At the same time, though, EnVyUs now do not have an AK in their hands. Or actually, no, he only had a CZ auto anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that was a big investment to go for just that. And they're going to go for this B stack now for EnVyUs, but again, it's these T-sided rounds, these late charges from NiP that give them the chance, and if they can continue with this momentum, I mean, that really hurts, though. That losing that investment just means that it's one less round they're going to be able to afford. Look at this absolute stack over at B. Exist is going to be the first to get to it. They flash out onto him, and he's helpless. He's got nothing he can do, but Freiburg's got the answer. Beautiful hat trick as he spams away on the corner. Luckily, MBK goes back into him, but damage done. Freiburg, king of banana.
MBK realized that with that clip, basically empty. All he had to do was just run there and finish the job. Let's GetRight doing the death from above. Okay, yeah, you can't shoot blood, GetRight. Maybe he's trying to reduce his accuracy level. Oh, this is just going to be a save from MBK. He's got 30 HP. There's no way he's going to be able to breach back into this side up against the 3 players from NiP. And NiP know it too, and they're not hunting this time. It backfired on the last time. They're not going to do it this time. And that means NiP still, they have 11 to 10 on the rounds. And we still have a little bit of cash this time.
The boost. Let's both get as far away as we possibly can in the corner of pit.
Just hold hands. And there's that play from Freiburg. Fortunately for him, he didn't pull out the pistol straight away, expecting a 4th. Like, a 3-man stack is already enough, you would feel.
Well, in a pistol round, 4 is common at Banana, but I don't think he would have expected them to all be quite so aggressive on him. He tried to buy himself some time, actually, by getting into the car. He was going to smoke it and hold them out, but MBK was wise to it. But NiP now have the lead, and now they've got this round back-to-back. They're going to go back against Guns, but it's still not a very wealthy, EnVyUs team right now. It's a AK that was managed to be saved, but a FAMAS only for Keo. Smokes out. Forrest already up toward the bench, and he's going to try and just spam on that corner in case anyone gets a little bit careless and holds off aggressively. 3 over on the truck side right now for EnVyUs.
And again, EnVyUs, as you're saying, like 3 over on the truck side, they're all holding so tight together. Even though they do have weapons, there's no crossfire, no ability to contest the mid. Now they will push one over to the archers, but I think that's mainly because they're worried the B side's about to be pressured. And MBK is the man to get the opening frag. Smoke bouncing in from over on A. And where's that pick? There's the first one. So Smith brings down Alu. Unable to take out that mid. Which means GetRight has to do it the old-fashioned way. Smokes, flashes, and then push. And in fact, the push is coming to B. Pushing up already. Well, we should probably go back over there right now. As Happy dropping his own smoke. MBK, the flames are down on top of the grill. Rather appropriate. And EnVyUs with a very successful defense. GetRight. Oh, if you only can see, he gets to the wrong corner. He couldn't see him straight away. He'll still bring down Happy. There's a 3-on-2 situation. Exist is trapped at the back of the site. And now he's put out of his misery by Smiths. RIP. And GetRight can only get 1 before his own death. So 11-11. Everything leveled up. Money-wise, it's also quite even.
Very even, yep. So EnVyUs, like I said, was forcing into that round. They didn't really get the buy they wanted. They had to go for one FAMAS. Luckily, they saved that AK. Still have to invest a lot into this round, so they still won't be perfect. They will get a good number of nades out. In fact, Smiths has one can of fire, as does MBK, so that'll hold off your B if needed. In fact, actually, I take that back. Smiths is going back over to Arch side. But NiP is also fairly grim in terms of how much they've saved up. 3 digits for all of them, so this round means a lot right now. This late in the game, this is huge. And NiP is looking for the A, but watch out. Kiyoshima's already on that jump spot off of the balcony, and Kiyo's going to go ahead and take down Forrest. Not a common spot, very unorthodox, and Get Right's head just a little bit too exposed, and Shox takes advantage of that as well.
Without any early peaks as well going the way of Alu, he couldn't make this AWP work. And even a smoke so exists. If he wants to walk out on balcony, he'll do it blind. I don't know if NiP just want to say, poke to B, they can't take A anymore. They need to get a pickup. That's why Alu, he's watching over towards the archers, but he's not 100% certain. Happy. Freiburg is a little bit further up. This time he's going to get the bullets into him, but cannot finish the job. It's like Alu going to miss that shot over on Smiths. As Exist peaks, the flash timing, horrendous for Exist. And there goes
Great
Freiburg.
shot. I talked about that angle being so hard.
Nice.
Oh, what awareness from Exist. That's Happy down. They thought they had NiP sucked up toward the A and could just pinch them. This forces the defense to spread back out because originally they were all grouped on A, thinking that they had them trapped. So that kill means more than you think, even though they don't go behind.
Behind them. Shox is going to do it from inside the pit, but Smiths was just flanking. And just pincering in on Ninjas in Pyjamas. They attempted to do a fake. Like, they ran it back down, made as much noise as possible, but left Alu up there to try and get the pick. But by the time they pushed in, that rotator wasn't into the speedway. He was only at the archers, so it didn't take long to come back.
I thought the round was over, actually, before it was, though, because if Exist hadn't got that kill on Happy behind them, they had everyone at A because it was process of elimination, process of Illuminati. They just had them all held at top mid. As soon as you got that, MBK was forced out of A. They gave themselves a chance, but good hold from back in the pit.
Stop knifing each other, boys.
And like I said, it's back to pistols now for NiP.
Shox is down to 70. Happy takes care of Freiburg, pushes up very aggressively into Exist. He knows he's only up against pistols, hence he wants to just do this. Time to stat pad. Takes out 3. Smith's going to miss this shot. In fact, miss both these shots. Yes, a third one. Third time lucky. And that leaves Forrest just sitting on the park bench, contemplating life. And contemplating how they come back from 13 rounds to 11. I guess he'll try and contest the bomb. But MBK will be the man to take it.
And the disappointing part of that is they didn't get a kill. The best chance for them to stay in this game is by forcing investments from an EnVyUs. They won't have to do anything. So 64 already starting the round with their buy done for Happy. 57 for NBK. You knock out those guns, they're back down to a situation where one round lost and they're saving, and then they can tie this game up a lot quicker. So it's the little things they just can't get going for them. Exist is going to go ahead and run out toward Catwalk, into Banana this time a little bit early, try and beat them to the punch. There's no smokes out at all. NBK is playing it passively with Happy even further back down, but look at the aggression toward Boiler right now as NBK is going to be, spotted up, couldn't get the kill, falls back.
The one time he looked there, they got that timing down perfect with the 2 guys on B. The flash over top, then the peek. Yeah, as you said, no dice, no kills. And then into a perfect crossfire. Happy and MBK with a defensive smoke. Ninjas in Pyjamas are practically coming in blind, and they're already getting flanked. Like, you can see Shox watching over towards the park bench, and no one from NiP is looking backwards. EnVyUs, I don't think MBK realized there was a Molotov on the ground there. Down 25 HP, but Happy holds the line until Freiburg finally puts him down. Able to catch out MBK as well. Smith. You can't see that. He's just having a random guesstimation. Planning in the open. Not going to work after that flank came in. And it will be the round to Team Envy.
And again, no one really lost, so Happy's up to 10K now. This is
so
just
much money.
Yeah, exactly.
And NiP's broke. Like, they literally cannot get a mortgage.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the difference right now. That's going to push Envy over the finish line. You go back 2 rounds, they get even 3 players down instead of no one at all.
Yep.
Envy doesn't have this position. They don't have that money.
The only thing NiP can play for is the draw here, unless somehow these Tech-9s and CZs do a hell of a lot of work. And where are they coming?
Well, Thorn didn't coin the term. My goodness, for nothing.
It's late at night, man.
It doesn't help when Ninjas in Pyjamas start to attack each other.
The push up through the apartment stairs. And that with Forrest, who came in through the boiler, getting a couple of bullets to the tail. I think he's only copying a Galil. That's not going to help him if he has to drop low. Smith's looking over. Can't get the opening frag. Can get it on the second shot. He's being rushed, however. And they're going to get him. Freiburg into the side. Forrest battling into the pit. He knows one is down there. They're getting shot as well from the side. Forrest, good clearance. So 3 on 4, even though Alu is basically only half a man.
This is the round they need. They've got this down. They've just got to be careful not to group too much in the site. Freiburg is actually going to throw that op over back to Alu.
Freiburg's going to try and play the decoy here.
Which is surprising because Alu's the one on low HP, but Freiburg wants to hold the angle with something a little bit more aggressive.
They're not retaking. They're trying to get exit frags. Envy want to try and play the money game right now.
And rightfully so. They should. So Keo's going to be the first to see, or is he? Alu's the one that's going to be in a lot of trouble. He needs to get all the way out. He's going to get caught in apartment. That's your op. Well and truly out of reach. Forrest at least gets happy, but is he going to get away? 2 HP. Wow. Just in time with that M4. And that means
right
everything, but
behind him.
MBK's... Oh, no, didn't get around the corner. Thank goodness for NiP.
He tried to get him on the jump, but couldn't claim it, so NiP with a couple of weapons still there. Some nice money which is starting to bank up on Forrest, so he's got 3.3k at the start of this round. There's still obviously a crap ton of money in for Envy. But it means Ninjas in Pyjamas have something to work with. The economy is not shot to pieces, and they're not having to go up against 3 match points. Probably the bigger thing. When Get Right gets an opening like that, Keo down. The defense flashes already. MBK trying to level it up, but he cannot do it. So 1 defender left on B. The push, they're not quite sure if they need to bring him over, and the answer is yes. The bomb will be planted on the B site. A little bit further back on the left, so no spray through the smoke will be achievable. With a flash from Smith. And now he does in fact connect a little bit on the spray. Forrest down to 48 HP. That's a really good crossfire again here from NiP. I think Envy has had to let this round go. And the push coming up. I don't know if Shocks... Oh, he can. Find that magical play, but Freiburg with the Molotov. Shocks is kept out. He uses the smoke to get rid of it, but he can't get the shot. Smith's one more player. He's over in Emo. So he's got to check to the right, and he's not going to do it. Forrest will take it. He'll lose the weapon, but still, it's going to be fine. Actually, he didn't lose it.
Yeah, no, bomb didn't go off. That's the thing with Emo, though. It's such a deep spot in that corner, and it's so dark that even though the barrel of the gun was sticking out, it camouflages in with the black of the door. So he got away. He actually peeked it. He thought he peeked it far enough and looked over toward New Box. So, I mean, that spot, it's almost annoying in that regard, but it's so powerful to hold post plant.
So let's see how NiP go this round as they keep the comeback train rolling. Also want to watch Keo. The Molotov is currently controlling the top of mid.
I love the nade off the bell.
Oh, he does a little bit of damage. Smith is still fine. He's more worried about that B side. Throws the cover smoke again for the 2 defenders over there. Because NiP haven't committed anywhere. They've got 3 players ready to push into apartments. In fact, I say ready, they're already in. Alu jumping out because they've got enough people in there. He needs that push into mid. Are they going to give him the bomb again? Are we going back to this play? 2 up through mid, 3 through apartments? This time they're going to commit 3 to come up through mid.
Smoke from Exist too, so watch for them to go
and the molly
all the way in, but they don't know that Smiths is in the cubby. They're going to have to be careful. That molly forces him out. Oh, he actually goes down to it, so he couldn't get away from it at all. Great read. And now Keo, though, does get 1 Exist already back onto him. That fire forces them out wide, but that smoke's still an arch, and that buys them some time to get by. And Happy, oh, his gun's sticking out.
And that's going to allow NiP to level it up. 14 rounds apiece. EnVyUs.
And now we're in the opposite situation. They've done the NiP magic. They've pulled the money back their way.
Do you force buy here on EnVyUs?
I don't think you do. I think you have to play for the tie at this point. They're going to go for a Deagle and a CZ. I think you're going to have to play for tie because if you lose this, you're throwing it away. You're still on CT side. You still have the advantage with weapons.
Well, I'm seeing mass CZs as well as a D. So Keo needs some magic. Can't get the initial shot on the T's. Exist moving up. And BK, a little bit of, okay, there's the Molotov. That'll force him to move. Only took 5 points of tick damage from that, however. And no breach. Ninjas in Pyjamas can't find an opening. Obviously, Keo is not a healthy man. But there's just no way in yet. Exist on the sandbags. Oh, happy. He's moving up in the smoke. Exist, trying to spray and pray again. Not a single bullet connects on Happy. He's also got a Molotov up his sleeve. Hence they back up. They can slow down Ninjas in Pyjamas, and the Molotov's really going to screw with this. With 47 seconds left on the clock, it's Ninjas in Pyjamas that are battling up against the time. The flashes, everyone's blind, and they're running through the fire to get in. MBK sitting back at Emo. He's got a little bit more support outside.
They're so weak as a result of running through that fire, though. Look at how easy it was for them to get picked off. That bomb's also been dropped. They need to deal with Smiths now, and they're not finding the kill. Alu can't get the angle. Luckily, Get Right's there, but he's already down now, and it's all up to Alu. And there it is. Team EnVyUs, Team LDCZ. We used to call them Team Pistol as the moral of the story. Now it's match point, and look how broken that makes the NiP side. They'll still get the op-out for Alu, but not much more. They'll get AKs out, Freiburg, Tech 9. That might have just completely swayed things. I thought for sure we were going to be playing for overtime.
That critical Molotov, the fact that NiP had to run into it, and they ran in blind. Not only was smoke, they also got slightly team flashed when they went in, so they first realized they were dying when their HP points were just ticking down. So now Envy, they must win this round. If they do, they're going to DreamHack Bucharest, the first team to qualify in through the group stages, and NiP will be forced to go into the second chance.
And they'll have done it the longest route possible based on that VP forfeit loss. They came all the way from the bottom of the loser bracket to do this, but it's not done just yet. They do still have weapons to work with. Exist is going to have to try and be very careful. Shocks, as we can see, is out on the railing at the balcony holding off that doorway. Keo's also falling back to support that choke point, but Alu, oh, so close, just misses on Smiths.
That's going to reveal the fact the commitment's heavily up there. There is one guy sitting in that cubby cheap spot, just up on the left. Normally Ninjas in Pyjamas got ridden out with a molly, but the only one they've got is in the hands of Exist, who's not there in the mid. In fact, he's up in the apartments. Get Right, looking for the pick, tries to get it, does get it. Keo down. The advantage of numbers, the way of NiP. They still have to get themselves in. Clean out the pit, clean out the site. There goes the site. There goes not the pit. Shocks holding the line for the moment, taking out two. There's a third one jumping in behind him, and that's Get Right. Death from above. 2-on-2 situation.
Good smokes. They used all three they had. They just want to make sure EnVyUs can't get in at all because they need to get this bomb down more than ever. These groups are so tight, this second chance isn't going to be enough. They want into DreamHack right now because it only gets harder if they don't win this round.
MBK is trying to pull the attention, so Happy can do the peek. Get Right knows where he is, and now it's a 1-on-2. It's all up to Freiburg. Can he clutch? He's got one. Last player left alive, MBK. He's got the sliver there. Woo! We're going to overtime.
Man, oh man, if it hadn't been for that pistol round, this could have been third map, but now we're going to overtime. And before we just bring in Karg, keep in mind it's an MR5 overtime, not MR3, so slightly different in the way the economy works.
Right, MR5 and 16K start money, right?
Yep,
but
that's right.
Yeah, a brilliant game. Two of the best teams in the world making it into overtime. It's always exciting, right? Despite the late hour, I suppose. But you guys are doing a great job. Thanks for that. To mention something about the game, impressed by the way Happy and Envy is controlling the money in this game. I love the fact that MBK was so aggressive and also successful, of course, that helps, taking down a bunch of NiP players when he was running around with a pistol. That enabled them to have, you know, control over the finances down the road. And I kind of disagree with you guys when they bought, I think this was round number 29, they could have certainly saved, but they're one map up, and percentage-wise, just to throw out a random number, I would say it's like maybe 38% chance or something that they will beat NiP with pistols, full armors, if they are a little bit, especially when they're lucky and stacking in the right bomb spot, which they did. So they just gambled a bit, knowing that they at least have one map up. And if we win now, we're going to at least take this to overtime, which we are in right now. NiP, though, strong play from Get Right. Exist again, played it amazingly. But overall, it was a team effort from both parties, I'd say. What's going to be interesting now, and what's always interesting, is strategically, how do you face an overtime? Because you kind of played out all your cards. Do you go back to the kind of drawing board, or do you do random strategies based on the intel you have from these 30 rounds? Because Counter-Strike, in the end of the day, is like a game of poker, besides that you kind of have to reveal your cards even when you're bluffing, so to speak. So it's kind of a constant build-up of insights that you always have to interpret, like what's going to be the next move, what did they do last time, what pattern did I see around before, did I see Get Right in B last time and now it's in A, does that mean it's coming A? Stuff like that. It's not the easiest time to just explain it here at this very late hour, but it's just very fascinating for someone like me.
Yeah, just to read them entirely.
It kind of feels funny for me, the fact we're seeing more gun rounds now, considering how one-sided we've had a lot of our maps already. Like the direct guns versus guns hasn't happened a hell of a lot, but we're into overtime, so round number 1 of 10 is up and running. NiP will start on T's with EnVyUs over on CTs. And it looks like Ninjas and Pyjamas, they're looking to get aggressive, but there's a 3-man stack from EnVyUs over on the B side. But Freiburg makes it a 2, makes it a 1. They have to check the corner. They'd only be expecting to have 2 players over on this B side.
Happy's just going to wait that
He's
too.
in cubby.
He's just going to wait it. He's going to take full advantage of
Alu's
this,
not
not
looking.
peek out. He'll get this bomb planter for it. Alu's going to go down inevitably.
Ooh,
Oh,
he
just
didn't
in
get the
time.
plant.
And the bomb goes all the way inside the garden. And Happy's not done. So smart from him, and we've seen it. He's got 195
Patience.
kills over these 9 matches. Most of those today, and he's not even
Beautiful.
tired, unfazed as Forrest goes down. NiP caught completely off guard.
And they were not expecting the 3rd man there. They didn't check the corners. And Alu came in and just thought, hey, we've got this. Like, hey, my boys have done their job, haven't they? Nope. So it's up to Get Right for the clutch. He's got 35 seconds. And if he can get that first frag, check. He's got to find him on the right. Kyo. Get Right's too busy looking towards the left. And now he does see him. He sees the back ass of him.
Well played. Get Right, so smart. I thought for sure he was going to walk by that.
Happy.
This guy is so
He knows where he is. He's going to try and bait him out with the molly as he runs right or left. Get Right chooses left. He runs right. He gets him
my
with a
goodness.
fire. Clutch Central. What a round.
I'm done. This is why Get Right gets rated so highly year after year after year. How many times does he pull off something so smart like that? It's an absolute treat to watch. Well played, but again, Happy made that round as deep as it was.
He really did. He really did. But that also came down to Ninjas Pyjamas. Maybe getting tired, not checking every single corner like you should. I don't blame him. You don't look for number 3 man there. Oh, Exist. Walks through the Molotov. Bakio already boosted up. So, Ninjas in Pyjamas. Not the greatest start to this round. Freiburg trying to do some work. Those 2 Smiths. Auto Sniper. No standard AWP for them. They're going to tag up Get Right pretty heavily. But Ninjas in Pyjamas haven't really found their way in yet. The flash has come out from top of apartment. And Alu going to smoke us. Though they're going in for the A, there's only 1 defender over on B. Again, we see this stack here from Team EnVyUs.
This is a big investment, too, for Smith to have an
Happy.
auto sniper because look how low he is. Happy gets
Check again.
Alu, though. Oh, watch Boiler Door. There's another one there.
Yep. Now the boiler door guy runs out as Happy did back up. There's Molotovs, there's smoke, but again, this defensive Molotov, it stops NiP from pushing in too easy. Freiburg realizes it, but he gets the kill onto Spools, but he's going to get done by the auto sniper of Smiths. It's all up to Forrest now. He throws the molly, but that's not what he needs. The flashbang as well, that's what he needs. Into the site, no damage taken. He does have the bomb, he gets it planted. Now it's up to Forrest to do the clutch. Finds 1. Down to 85 life, however. 96 on the armor. He's going to take out the auto sniper. Forrest big. Can he finish the job? He needs that last player using the fountain, getting his feet wet. But Kyo going straight for the scalp. He doesn't take it, but he does get the kill on Forrest. And the defuse, which keeps the rounds leveled at 60 to pop.
Massive that they picked that up because, as I was saying, they bought a lot into that round. Smiths went for that auto sniper. Now they get back into towards that 5-digit range, but they were sitting at 6K roughly on the low side of their players. You get one loss there, you buy the next round. Like we said, this is MR5. You could be saving despite starting with 16K. So this evens things back up in a lot more ways than just one.
Where are these early picks? Alu's looking for one. I actually don't think we've had any kind of AWP battle up from the mid, from the stairs to the top. It just has not been happening. They use the smoke, they put out the molly, water on the fire practically. Check towards the archers, and already happy. He does grab one. This push on the right side, Get Right's at least able to hold it in, taking out Keo on the side, and then with a molly again, utilizing this to ensure they clean out every single corner, and NBK is the last man standing, coming in from the arch side. He's going to try and compete up this one, but the smoke makes him blind. So he has to move back in through the mid. This is not the angle you want. There's too many places you can just get shot from. Exist is still looking over towards Library. But Ninjas and Pyjamas have the perfect position for this. And in fact, now I think they've got to get out of here. NBK, exit kills don't really achieve you anything in this, especially when Ninjas and Pyjamas already had the couple of rounds. And, well, he gets Get Right. Yeah,
You're just going to stand on that.
Well, if you're going to die, die in style.
Goodbye, my sweet prince.
What was the last thing that went through your mind?
Cruel farewell.
Your
Probably
ass.
his ass. Yeah, exactly. So that's 2 T rounds for NiP. Keep this in mind. There's a lot of debate going into overtime about what the better side is. You're warmed up on T, NiP in this case, and get to start that way. It's the disadvantaged side. They've already got 2. When we swap over, EnVyUs is a little bit colder running those strategies. Does that hold them back? We'll have to wait and see. And again, the money gets very low now for EnVyUs. They're down to 900 unhappy, 150, and oh, well, I was about to say and change, but NBK's got none left. And look at the recoil control. Get Right using that position to good effect. It's not often we see it, but happy. Oh my goodness, all 3 down at B.
Big, 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 big. That means Alu and Get Right's got a hell of a lot of work, but the more important thing is that bomb is so exposed, which means EnVyUs can bring everybody over. Sit one on top of the bomb. Get Right's going to push up while Alu watches from behind. But there's nobody there. Can he get to the bomb? That's the question. But Happy is literally on top of it. Doesn't see him through the smoke. The bomb's still not being picked up. The smoke will be revealed in a moment. And Get Right, in fact, he's going to try it again. The Molotov. Get Right having to pounce himself back. The flash will be there, which means he does get the pick off on Happy. It's almost the time when Alu should move up and see if he can get the AWP pick onto Smiths. And that will allow the push in. They're out of time. They can't go anywhere else. The Molotov flying down. I think that's actually a little bit off target. It landed on the roof. So they don't get the advantage from that one. 17 seconds. There's your pick. That's the one we're looking for. And the second one from Alu. That's big. 18 rounds to 16. They're trying to get the plan as well. They don't need it. Last round of the first half. All the money now goes to be spent. But Ninjas in Pyjamas, if they can get this round, they only require 2 in the next half to take map 2 and force us to a 3rd.
Brilliant stuff from him up
Look at the
close to
weapons
get
on
that.
EnVyUs. They are actually poor. Unless I'm missing some rifles here.
No, they're very poor. Like I said, they were down to 3 digits, so NiP's had a phenomenal start to this overtime. Happy in the last round, got aggressive to try and take down GTR. But in doing so, left it to a 2-on-2. If he'd stayed alive, it was a lot harder for Alu to find those shots. But man, things are unfolding here. NiP already a man down. We've seen what they can do with these pistols, and NBK's going to get another. He does go down to the flames in the end, but my goodness. EnVyUs is just relentless on these rounds. Forget weapons. Just give them pistols and maybe 1 to support as we see from Keo, but now it's down to a 4-on-2.
Whoops is right from MBK. There was no more pressure coming up from Banana, and he literally walked back into the smoke. It's like, why don't you molly the right area? 18-16. Team EnVyUs, they're the ones with the advantage for the moment. Alu and Forrest, they still want to try and play this. They're both coming in through Library, so education is the way to victory. And they get the first look at it. As Keo, flashbang up, and then he'll have a lookie. He's managed to blind one, take out the non-blinded one, and finish the round. So EnVyUs will be able to push one back, but Ninjas in Pyjamas on the T side, they do manage to claim 3.
It's ridiculous. There's no team in history that wins this many pistol rounds.
Pistol round, sorry?
Well, half-buy pistol rounds, Armor, CZ, Tech 9,
Right.
Eco rounds, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but overall I felt that EnVyUs was kept alive through Happy's decision-making, placing 3 men at B on the first round of the overtime, and then just generally raking up a lot of more frags than you generally see from an in-game leader. They kind of got themselves in situations where they wanted to be. However, though, like closing the rounds was an issue. Alu, especially Get Right, I think we saw more kills in the overtime from a Molotov than we did like throughout today, basically. But yes, they should not be too happy with only 2 rounds considering the situations they ended up in.
We'll see what they can do over on the T side. We're back in second half of overtime. And the ops from Alu. Not really finding anything. Smith's also looking for that pickup mid. But Ninjas in Pyjamas are holding in tight. They don't want to give any advantage here to EnVyUs. 1 round and the pressure is all on the T's. Here comes your smokes. And flashes, but Forrest is the first one. That was the only player over on Banana. Actually, feeling it's over there, but there's a lot of spam of nades coming the way to the A site. So Ninjas in Pyjamas might want to rotate one of these B players over to the A right now. Stack up in the very similar way that Envy was able to do.
The interesting thing is that there hasn't been any movement from B. Finally, Forrest will push down, but Alu
He saw the bomb.
Library. I don't know if he sees the bomb. It doesn't really matter.
He
It's
got
quickly
vision.
recoverable.
It
Yeah,
flagged
Keo's
up.
going to pop out, but that fire's doing so much damage. He gets away from it. Does get the kill. Now they're going to go towards Get Right. He's down as well.
Oh,
Exists inside the
shots!
site. Only gets 1, so it's a 2-on-2. And the double left team of NiP from B is a little bit late getting there. Finally, Freiburg gets 1. That gives them a bit of a chance now. Shox is going to have to play smart. He's been in this exact position before in this matchup, and he actually took them both down when they pushed him on pit last time. We'll see if they're a little bit more wise this time and get on the bomb a little bit quicker.
Shox just has to, well, is he going to wait? He gets 1.
Man.
And now the jump up. He's still battling from the low. And now up high. Who comes out on top is Forrest.
Does he have time, though? I think he does.
With the kit,
Yeah,
he should.
does. So good play that time. They get a little bit more smart about it. That first pick, actually, out of the 2 situations, that was the one I would have said was more likely for Shox to win because he had them divided and had the kill early. Luckily, they get away with it that time. So NiP's going to get 19 now. 7 rounds done in overtime.
And they're looking good. 2 more rounds to go, and NiP will bring us to Cash, which is the final map in this best of 3. And there's a lot at stake. $5,000 for the winning team, and not to mention the ability to play for even more prize money at the DreamHack Bucharest Finals for the CSGO Championship Series. Mass flashes. They want to make sure nothing's pushing up through the mid. And also a very aggressive position. It's Forrest who's sitting on top of the sandbags. And he's trying to stay up so fast they can get a little bit more intel. MBK, he's checking. He's checking. He's making a hell of a lot of noise and blinded by the light. MBK is going to drop. Forrest is going to have a bit of a peek down Banana and then realize that no one else is there. Happy. Okay. Boiler stairs. Alu forced to back up a little bit more. He has Exist with a crossfire, but the Molly's going to force him out here. Exist has no other choice but to come out and shoot. He does bring Smith down to 11. Alu grabs 1. Its own defensive flash, and the support's rotating from NiP from the B side. Alu needs help. Get Right still up high.
Well, they're going to get help because Envy hasn't moved up at all from that arch side. Smiths was just sitting there. Luckily, that smoke came out. They went right past him.
Mauling position.
Oh, man, they could have had an easy kill on him that time, but Alu eventually does get Smiths. Happy's going to have to come around, nail that shot, does it instantly, just barely misses that no-scope. Switching to the pistol, though, when Happy gets it, and he knows the Get Right's over at A, so he's going to race him. Get your Nikes out, get on your pumps, do whatever you got to do. Air Jordan, I don't care what brand you wear, just get to B.
Activate star. Mario Kart. Where's my blue shell? So Happy, where's he go? He can't decide. He went to quad. Now he's over the spools. Walking towards construction. Get Right. He's managed to take the side itself. And Happy has guessed wrong. Get Right. Does he try and hunt for the kill? Oh, he's looking. He's looking. He's looking right. And boom. The round will go the way of EnVyUs. They keep themselves in it for now. 19-18. Are we really going to get a double overtime?
Imagine, double overtime MR5. I haven't seen a double overtime MR5 in a while.
It's a long night.
Money
It's a
slightly
long,
favors
long night.
Envy. If they win this round, they'll still be able to buy it out for NiP, so they haven't invested quite as much as what we saw from EnVyUs on the CT side. We'll call it a non-factor for now, but on round 10 it might be if NiP can't get something going. But it wouldn't matter because if they win this one out, we're tied up anyway. Nice shot, Happy through the smoke. Forrest down, that's one down at B. He's looking to just spam away at the corner, hoping Freiburg's there.
The way both these teams have been playing the B side, it's one forward, one back, and the one that's back throws the flash, allowing for the peak. That's the way it's always been happening.
Exist is going to support Alu arch side, but no one's rotating over.
They
I'm
come.
a bit surprised Alu sat still for that long, but obviously Exist wanted to be the one to go, and he's going to have to be even quicker because Freiburg's down as well.
And Happy moving up, gets the tag, needs to finish the job. This is a big, big round right now for EnVyUs. They're going to wipe out all of Ninjas in Pyjamas. The plant will go down. And how are you meant to retake this one? You got one player over at Archers, who is now going to battle up against, who is that, Happy? Yeah, Happy is the man. Can't get the shot. So Alu gets one advantage, but Shocks get the counter kill. And then the last one, get right. We don't have to wait for the end of the round. We do go 19-19. Who will have themselves match points? Someone's going to get it here. It's either NiP or it's EnVyUs. And if it's EnVyUs, then technically it's group stage point and land stage point.
Absolutely, yeah.
Every point you can put on it, apart from championship point.
So NiP's gone for 5 rifles, as has Envy. Actually, pardon me, I didn't see the AWP. Happy's still going to have that, so he's got 42 kills in this. Obviously, we've played 38 rounds, but that's phenomenal performance. The next best on his team is 25. Forrest, though, is going to catch out MBK. Get Right's at 32, just to give you an update, but one man down already on EnVyUs' side, and NiP wants this. They want to force this out. They want to, like I said, qualify now because it gets harder. You combine everyone in that second chance, and you don't go from evened out groups. You go to everyone fighting over for 2 spots. And anything can happen with the amount of talent that's in this league at this point. Oh, he was visible right there, but Exist couldn't quite see him in the boiler doorway before that smoke went out.
I don't know if he also wanted to reveal his position just yet. They're not the ones who are forced to press the issue. As EnVy are doing that, they move 3 over to Arch side. As Shocks will be coming back down the boiler stairs. Can't get the perfect vision, checking every nook and cranny. Now the flashes, but it doesn't hit Exist. Both flashes avoid Exist. Waiting for Shocks to peek. There it is. He tries to go for the shot. Happy's the man to open up the account for EnVyUs and level it all with 4 apiece to get right. Nice little reposition. And Forrest solid on B. And that's where the bomb's coming. There's the last 2 players coming up from EnVyUs. Keo and Shocks need to get rid of Forrest. They know he's back at quad, so Shocks pre-firing it down. The retake from NiP, the plant, they start it.
He changes his angle.
Yeah,
He
he
knew Get
realized-
Right was top banana. He didn't want to leave himself exposed.
Can he get back into quad?
Oh, Exist has to be so careful because Keo's looking for that shot. This is a man who's so good on an entry frag. He only needs 1 or 2 bullets, but Get Right's already there. That's Keo down.
Can Shocks clutch it and give him match point? There's the fake defuse. Peak number 1. Where's peak number 2? The full defuse. This time it's going to happen. Shocks takes out 1. He's going to look. Get Right as he bailed out of it.
He actually could have held that because Shocks didn't peek it quick enough. He had about 2 seconds left in that defuse, and that was about 3 seconds to the peak, but now we're on match point, group stage point for EnVyUs. If they can take this, it's over in 2, and NiP would be absolutely heartbroken. They didn't really show up in that first match. They started off 5-0, keep in mind. It seems like ages ago, but they lost 16 rounds in a row.
This is pretty rough, man.
Lose one more, it's over.
That nade is pretty nicely into Keo. And they're just so poor. Can they hold this? Can they keep their hopes alive after having such a great run in the group stage? Will it all come to end now? Forrest defends against 1. He actually brings down 2. And they're bringing the bomb back. They want to get over to the A side. That's where Shocks is, trying to push the Pinion up against Exist. But Exist is not having a bar of it. They look. Shocks. Tag again. Exist not healthy. Alu's going to give that cover fire, or crossfire, I should say, meaning it's all up to MBK. 12 HP stands between him and his team going to double overtime. He has to try and go for it somewhere, but the bomb is in the middle of top mid. That's it. Like, retaking this is almost impossible. He's got one flash, one smoke, and an AK and a Tech 9. And the smoke cover fire is gone.
3, 2,
Boom.
rest in peace. So double overtime it's going to be 20 to 20. I'm not going to talk anymore, Karn. Please fill in for me.
What do you got, man? What do you got for us? Lay the knowledge bomb.
Well, you can say that Shox kind of mirrored GetRight's performance in the first half of the overtime, where he won rounds that should have been won, forcing this into another overtime. You do see multiple overtimes, especially in the best-of-3 format, but not so much in the best-of-5 ones. So a lot of great Counter-Strike action out there, certainly, and also knowing that it might be a potential cash knocking on our door. All in all, exciting, and I'm very impressed by the performance from the player, how long they've been playing today, how many maps hasn't EnVyUs played today.
EnVyUs have been the ones that have been running the treadmill non-stop, because it's just been game after game after game, and this is now their third overtime phase. They've already played through one set of overtime up against Penta, and that's the kind of game too which is going to drain you. Penta is a very random team, so you can't just go, we just go through the motions, we just play it the normal way. It's this, we're always shopping, we're always changing, you've always got to be very dynamic, and that's a lot more draining as a player. Yeah,
and speaking about draining, imagine now for Exist or Happy for that sake, coming up with strategies. Now it's going to be a total of another 10 weapon rounds, more or less, for both these teams here. So, yeah, let's get on.
Yeah, we're already into it. So, pick time. Who finds what? Again, the sniper's not going to give anything towards that mid. And GetRight very aggressively holding the apartments. I haven't really done a lot of this. In fact, most of the time NiP were just holding back at the balcony. I'm happy. They really just can't find these earlier picks. And Forest, he's played so over-aggressive on that top. Sometimes it's worked. Sometimes it's gone absolutely horrible. And Shox in through the boiler, but down to 7 HP. And Advantage currently the way of EnVyUs, but they still have to breach into a site. And they're coming up the mid. In fact, Shox is going to really open this up. With Exist dropping, there's only one last player. It's all up to Alu. He takes one, needs the second, can't get it in time. So Kiyoshima opens up the A site. The bomb is still making its way up through apartment, so there is time for Freiburg to rotate over. He did some pretty big clutches over at ESL 1. Especially during that grand final on this exact map up against Fnatic. Whoops! Oh, whoa, yeah, okay.
There goes that chance.
He sets his heart on fire. Oh, he gets the spam initially. He needs that pick. He can't let him just run away. The flash comes in, but yeah, Kyo just turns around and EnVyUs get the first round here in overtime number 2.
I don't want to sit here and call a player out. I'm not in a position to do that, but Alu needs to find more than one kill before dropping down. I said that in the regulation rounds on CT's side. From that position, he's playing so far over toward Cubby that as soon as he gets one, he has to run about 6 steps to get back around the corner into cover.
It seems like an active decision, though, coming from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They don't want to go for this mid pick. They don't want to be one man down from the very, very start.
And sure, but again, we see Alu's over toward the Cubby in the right side of that corner. If he played off to the left and just went for that first kill and immediately fell back, it would be far more advantageous. Happy's going to get Exist. I just think if Alu was more efficient in his picks right now, it would make a huge difference, specifically in that last round on that mid-take. Happy tried to peek out just a little bit that time.
He's looking for another one. We can see him through the wall right now, and it's going to be GetRight on top of the truck. Able to bring down Happy, so there goes one of your AWPers, but knowing that the reload was happening allows Shox just to get himself over the top of balcony. And EnVyUs, with 4 players still up, and a Molotov to give them the cover, plus the flashes. They have that plant down. And in fact, Ninjas in Pyjamas, in overtime, we're going to see a save. They know they're running out of momentum here, so they can actually protect their cash so they don't find themselves in that 5th round with no money whatsoever. They'll let EnVyUs take the second here, which means they're only 4 rounds away from victory. I say only.
But it's still a great start. 2 in a row. Money-wise, NiP
NBK's
is not
chasing for
that
it.
far out of it.
Oh, they found Freiburg. He wasn't properly covered by the smoke. And they're looking for another one. They really want to force this money out of Ninjas in Pyjamas. So here comes your buyers again. So you want to see Alu with the pick. So I don't think he can take it. Happy's on fire. Look at him. He's got 45 kills. Obviously, we're going through a hell of a lot of rounds. But still, he is the top fragger for EnVyUs. He's looking towards the mid. This time, Alu, he's got himself the M4. They've given the AWP over to Forest so he can cover the B site.
Trying to find a shot here is Forest. Deep inside that CT connector onto Banana. Waiting for someone to peek it out. It's going to be Keo. That's her first one there. But Get Right might see action before that on Shox, who comes out, hasn't peeked the angle. Get Right gets it.
He's looking the wrong way. Get Right was looking the right way, obviously. He's happy to be able to level the mark up as he takes out Forest. So the AWP from NiP is down, and the breach, Freiburg,
has to be smart here.
He's backing up. He throws. No, he's not. He throws the flash. He's going to come in aggressively. Brings down MBK. There's only a 2-on-2 situation. The bomb isn't on B. There is the rotation coming out. And that's Alu moving back over, and the bomb is now coming to B.
And they had no idea where the bomb was, so Alu couldn't sit and secure. They could have tried to swarm it. It seemed easy, but without the knowledge, they have to spread the bomb sites. They've got smoke still out. That's slowly dissolving, though, and they do get across. So Smiths is there. He'll get this bomb down, and they're going to retake from both angles. Exist is going to come up from Banana.
And if Envy can take this, put one in Emo, one on quad. The crossfire is horrendous for NiP. They don't have their AWPs left anymore, so they can't get the short picks. The Molotovs forcing Keo out, but he's already going to pick up one, and they get the second as well.
3 in a row T-side to start off overtime.
And they even managed to save the AWP. All the money.
This is the biggest lead we've seen.
Look at the money
since
as well.
regulation.
Freiburg. This is only the 4th round, and they're practically broke, NiP. This is their last buy. Unless they win the round, it's their last buy.
And what an answer it would have to be for them to do it on T-side again. They've
It'll
got to
be a
limit
tall
mistakes. CT, it would be a very tall order right now. They're going to
they already
swarm
lost
top
Alu.
mid, but they couldn't do anything. Alu came around the corner, and MBK was already there. He's going to get another.
Great clearance.
Exist is down. This is looking more and more grim for NiP because, oh, well, they're all on low HP. But I Get Right can only get one from that spot over the hood, so NBK and co are in great position. Look at Smith's front library.
It's up to Freiburg.
Already
He's the
shot
last
on
man
Moto.
standing. And remember, the money situation for NiP, it's absolutely horrendous. It's almost worth saving this M4 now. But at the same point, the rounds are horrendous. Freiburg's going to find one, which is Happy. Reveals his position. And Smith is coming over. They're going to see if they can flash him up. And bomb. So no more weapons for NiP apart from just a very forced buy at the end. And this is that first frag. MBK getting the first one on the left, then taking out the right, and mid belongs to EnVyUs.
And 4 rounds in a row T-side is absolutely ridiculous. And NiP, like you say, back to pistols. They'll force out what they can. Okay, so not full pistols. They got a little more out of it than I thought with the Mag 7 going on to Freiburg. But this is going to be so hard for them to answer on T-side of their own.
And Alu tried to go for a quick move into mid, but the flashbang did the work. Shock's already up. And, well, that's a good pickup.
I'm trying to take one out of
Keo.
Envy's book right now. Nade followed up with the spam. Exist took some damage from that, not dropping down though, but watch out. Because over at B, Freiburg's still getting aggressive up toward that smoke. He's going to play it over towards Sandbag, but they know he's there already, and he's on the front side of it, so he's trying to catch them immediately when they come around the corner.
They're actually spamming the corner point as opposed to looking over towards the sandbags. It's the only place they could really shoot at anyway. Unless they want to walk through the smoke, which is never a recommended thing.
There's actually a cool little boost you can do underneath the archways above that second log pile. That's fully wallable. But not many teams take advantage of it, so you can actually spam that corner a lot easier than just trying to come around for the peak.
Here's your molly. They're checking the corner again. Alu's been there almost every single time, so they're not letting it happen. Here's that movement as well coming up. It's MBK. Forest will shut him down. But the movements come up through arches. Exist. Oh, he missed the flashbang. It meant to go off the corner and still did its job, however, because they got stuck. Exist and Alu team up together, and NiP will get at least one round here. It was the one round where they had very little money, but they got the coordination better this time around.
So crucial.
Yeah. Happy seems to have kind of broken the Enigma code, how to play T on Inferno. 4 rounds. It's massive at this point. Great synergy, great creativity from them. And to talk a bit about NiP, we have been sitting here praising Alu's AWP capabilities, how he's like taking early peaks, backing off and playing it safe. But you should do that, but every now and then you need to mix it up. Maybe go into the boiler, take an early street peek, maybe go banana for Christ's sake, you know. That was what was missing, I felt. Like they invited them closer to the bomb spots.
Well, in they go. NiP. So many rounds they have to claim.
And again, they're going to go for this early setup with 3 in B, just like they did in the first overtime. Happy's the one that's playing passively again in that cubby spot. Smiths is going to hold the corner with his op. But it's all going on at A as Get Right finds Shocks. That's 1 down in apartment. And that means Smiths is already on the rotation out of there. And now they've split up the defense. They've got options.
Look at Forrest. He's basically having himself a cocktail. The Molotov at the top of the banana. Well, they need to get themselves back over to the A site. EnVyUs is already rotating one of their players. That's Happy.
Yeah, they're predicting this.
Yep, and they predicted it perfectly. They're looking towards mid, the flashes, the nades, the Molotovs, but they're blocking up NiP. Again, NiP, how many times have been forced to walk through fire to breach at the side? And Happy sitting inside the smoke. Freiburg's going to see him in the archway.
Keo gets the kill, though. He's doing great work right now. Good and efficient inside pit.
Oh, really
efficient. Man, absolutely. That's another one. That's your bomb. So it's dropped inside apartments as they come around, but Forrest is going to take down Keo in the end. It's down to a 2-on-2. HP advantage heavily goes the way of EnVyUs, though, and there it is. NBK is going to drop that bomb again.
He needs to hold this Forest. 1 AWP and 35 HP, and he cannot do it. We have 4 match points coming the way of EnVyUs here on our second overtime. Ninjas in Pyjamas. Best of luck. Best of luck. We at least have money.
Yeah, it's not a second round pistol type situation where they can't do much. They'll at least have money to go against it, but this group could be at a conclusion. Envy would be doing it the hard way all the way back and into DreamHack Bucharest. Not done just yet, though. Never count out NiP. Crucial.
Oh, Freiburg, that's not the greatest way to start.
Freiburg.
He pushed down so quickly down the banana. They weren't ready for it. So now NiP already in a bad position.
Oh,
Smith makes it worse. It's the crossfire. They got 1 up on top of the Bagola. They can't find the opening. It's looking bad. And Alu, at least he managed to get that flash up. But they know they can't breach into A. There's too many different places they have to clean up before they can get in. So the only option is try and get the early frags breaching into B, and then just try and hold the side after that point. It's the only options for them. There's your Molotov. It's cleaning out Cubby. It cleans out the back. The flash is there. The smoke will drop as well. Happy throws his own flash and then just backs himself into it. Again, the fire is down, and this should flame their way through. The knife to end it.
They're going to be insult. Thankfully, Get Right doesn't accept the exit from that. And he'll get one more on NBK. This is Get Right we're talking about. So despite only 13 HP, I'm going to cast this to the end. Smiths is going to call it.
GG! Team EnVyUs will be the first team to qualify for DreamHack Bucharest. They will not be forced to go through the last chance qualifier. They can enjoy a couple of good weeks break.
And keep in mind, Virtus Pro's already lurking in that. Penta's there who can, as we've seen from Majors, be a bit of a thorn in people's sides. And now we've got NiP joining in from the other group. We've got TSM.
Fnatic,
we've got Fnatic. I'm glad you remember them.
Fnatic.
Yeah, and flip side and Na'Vi, but Fnatic and TSM. I mean, one of those two teams I would expect to easily go through that group. But that means you're adding another team into the mix at the last chance. This isn't clear cut for NiP now.
Imagine if Fnatic drops down, then you have you have both the finalists from your last major in the last chance qualifier. It's pretty hard. This was a man that really did so much of the lifting.
I really think. I know it's early in the year, but I really think he's already putting up a case to top the leaderboards. maybe not even statistically as we've seen, but just in consistency,
Those stats
his
are pretty damn
leadership and dropping the frags that he does. Him versus Get Right to me is the two best players in the world. And, 9 matches, 213 kills tonight. That's ridiculous.
He is certainly very unique in his leadership style, and also, again, talking about his ability to rake up really good numbers. I think we saw the number of 216 there over, 216 frags over how many rounds, I don't know. But looking at this marathon Inferno game, total of 46 rounds-ish. I think he raked up 50 frags in total, and that's huge. And even more so, he was the man who led his team to victory in the overtime with creative calls. He was positioning his men at the right position at the right timing. So MVP for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. I still like to see what NiP can do if Alu is able to play a little bit more of an aggressive role, because it feels like he was a non-factor again. Very similar to what happened in the group stages of ESL 1.
And they got those trades on him, too.
Yeah.
It just felt like he couldn't get more than one kill at a time, and that really affected their ability to hold off, specifically the Arch side.
At the same time, we are putting a lot of pressure on him, so maybe it's a little bit unfounded, too. They did go through a very, very long night, late night as well.
I can just raise my finger and say that it's kind of like classic and HLTV.org style or Reddit style that, okay, Alu didn't play a perfect game, he should play more aggressive and all that, and we're pointing the fingers towards him. Surely we can do that, but it's also like a team game, and what I mean with that, it's a part of the leadership, it's also part of the teammates, suggesting him, making room for him to do these plays that I'm sure he can do, because surely he's a very defensive sniper, who can be, but also he hits his shots when he's kind of in straight-up aim duels against any sniper in the world, including Kenny S. So I wouldn't only blame him, because maybe he's not currently in the NiP framework allowed to play the role he might want to play, but again, we don't want to see him more. Well, maybe I won't, but generally speaking, you don't want to see him trespassing into a more Michael Lele style play. They need to have kind of a balance between the two, being able to be defensive and every now and then pull his ace from the sleeve, going aggressive boiler, being banana and all that. So didn't have that
you want him
going
to have
here.
his own style, really.
Sorry?
You want him to have his own style. I don't just try and replace the player directly.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard for me to sit here and judge, because I never called shots in CSGO or with Alu in my team, or having a Finnish player on my lineup. I had a Danish player once, but what I'm kind of saying here is not only that he's playing his role in what the team leader is suggesting him to do, and it's not like I'm blaming Existi here either, but yeah, I'm sure they're gonna figure out. Once again, I think they go into this tournament and this game considering all the stress and frustration and what they've been through the past days, and just trying to play the game. So it's not a lot of new things, it's not a lot of changes they have had since ESL 1. But hey, let's not get stranded and talk about NiP. I think EnVyUs played amazing throughout the day. Yeah. Obviously, making it a little bit too close against Penta, you can say, but they did what they had to do.
Penta gave them the best run of the day, arguably.
Yeah, but they have been kept playing here since 5 p.m. local time. It's been like 9 hours.
Yeah.
10 maps or something like that.
I do want to go back. I know you said you wanted to move on from the NiP thing, but you mentioned Alu fitting into the framework and just the communication. Obviously, he's got the language barrier to work with. There's one round that makes me a little bit curious about how vocal he really is with NiP, or how comfortable he is making his own call, that comes to mind. And it was when Exist left all the way from pit in A and rotated to B while Alu stood still at Arch just to hold that angle. It almost seemed like the benefit would be Alu to speak up and say, hey, I'll get there quicker. I'm going to go. You cover for me at this spot. And actually, B was left open for a little bit too long. I think it was Freiburg was inside the site, went down, and Exist was nowhere to hold off. So I'm speculating maybe that's not the case, but maybe Alu could have jumped up there. I don't know his personality, and again, we don't know the framework and how it fits in.
Yeah, but then again,
yet.
we are talking about a team that has been in the past finals in the past 5 majors, and I'm sure they will not necessarily be in the next, but they will be a relevant candidate for the throne in the next major, whenever that will be. But nevertheless, EnVyUs today qualify for the DreamHack Bucharest finals. Virtus Pro and NiP will find a little bit more tricky road to the capital of Romania, where we're at right now. And I just want to thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
You've done a phenomenal job. Man. I wonder how you keep, talking throughout 8-9 hours. I'm just sitting here. Wow, amazed.
Well, it's been great having you. Obviously, you're back off to Sweden. I think tomorrow, Fridays, one of those days.
I'm going eastbound, going to Asia actually.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Enjoy Asia. It's a wonderful part of the world.
Yeah, business trip, and then a 10 days long vacation celebrating, turning 30, and I'm trying to go out with a bang from my 20s. Watch out, Asia.
I don't blame you. So
Too many
next week
puns.
we'll be joined with another special guest. We're not going to say who yet. I don't think it's been announced yet.
I
so-
don't know yet either.
Do you not know? I think I might know.
I only know our panel
Okay.
for the main event.
Okay, well, I
don't
think
know our
I
guest
have
for
a
next
hint as
week.
to who it might be, but
you
we're not
you
going to
can
say.
follow the social networks to find that one out. You've been seeing in spam below all the time. I know the guys in production probably want us to do this because it's been sitting up there for the past 3-4
Yeah,
minutes.
it has.
Giveaway time! Giveaway time. The gut knife Blue Steel is being given away to a wonderful subscriber who is helping to support the tournament because you put $2.50 into the prize pool every single time you subscribe to the channel. You can make up fake accounts and subscribe as many times as you want. There's the Twitch fundraising system.